Stop.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays. Like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Good morning. Welcome to this great Saturday morning here, just before the great football games that will be starting here. We have 45 games today on Saturday. We had 16 yesterday. We had 4 on Tuesday and 4 on Thursday. We had a total of 24 games that has been played so far. We have 45 more to go today. We're going to recap some of the games on Friday, and then we're going to move into some coaching carousel today. This is the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown Show, episode number 13. I am your host, Ray Cruz. My co-host used to be Dre Orlandon. There are Thanksgiving break, so I might be doing the show solo. Might have some people pop on. We don't know. Anything can go on here at the All Sports, All Plays Network. Coming to you live. So let's get some of this stuff started here today. You can see down below, that's all our Facebook. This is where you can see this shows on the All Sports All Plays Network, Twitch, the TV platform, the Fox D network. We're going to be moving to hopefully our new network on our new channel on the Roku and Amazon coming this Monday. So you can stay with us. That's our things here going on. You can see the games down below for the finals on Tuesday. We got some key matchups that's going to happen today that needs to be happening. So we're going to see like Wake Forest is going to be a big game with the North Carolina State fans, since North Carolina State won against North Carolina yesterday. So they're going to be have their eyes on the Wake Forest game. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. We got the Michigan and Ohio State game that's coming on high noon. Wake Forest and Boston College is high noon. The winner of that game, if Wake Forest wins, they go to the ACC championship. If Wake Forest loses, in North Carolina State will go to the ACC championship. So that's some key matchups going on here. I guess the Big Ten East is on the battle here for Michigan and Ohio State. We're going to get into that. We got Georgia at Georgia Tech. That's going to be a big game for Georgia Tech. Can Georgia Tech give Georgia their first loss? Can they actually block Davis, the nose tackle for Georgia? He hasn't been blocked all season long, and he gets a lot of pressure up the middle. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the some of the vacancies in the coaching carousel that's going on. We got some news that people have been placed. We got some bad news for Florida fans. Dan Mullen's out. I guess some of the Florida fans are happy because he's out of the game. Understandable, because they had a lot of turmoil down in Florida. I mean, they lost with the last 3 games. They did beat a lower class school in their standards. They gave them a little bit of trouble, Sanford. And then the last straw was Missouri when they lost to Missouri. So Dan Mullins is out. Who's going to be the next head coach for who does Florida fans want to see in next group? You can drop it in your chat at our Facebook. We'll bring it up on the show here. Who you think is going to be the next head coach at Florida? There have been some reports. Some people like to see Tebow there as the next Florida head coach. Will he make a good head coach? That's going to be a good thing here that we want to talk about. What do we want to see at Florida? Florida's got to be going back to the name brand. I mean, Florida's one of those schools that was on the map and had not been on the map in like it's 3 or 5 years, and their head coach has been fired. This is another coaching change. This is the third coaches they had. They're trying to find the right fit. They Florida's been losing a lot of in-home recruits. I mean, if you look at Gainesville is only an hour from Braden, where ING Academy has produced some 5 or 6 star talents out of there, and they're not going to Florida. Georgia turned a 5-star wide receiver from that was going to commit to Florida, but now he's going to Georgia. Alabama has taken some people out of ING Academy. Florida's not been really getting the 5-star recruits anymore. They've been getting like 2 to 3 star recruits. Some of the 4 stars are not going. What's going on with Florida? Why can't they recruit down in Florida? I mean, Gainesville is not bad as a college town. Is the facilities not up to date? I mean, he's just starting to get in the indoor practice field. Some of their facilities are out of date. I mean, recruits are not going because now most schools are now getting the what you call high, football facilities. They're 10 times better than Florida, and that's what's selling recruits right now. Can they get a guy to come in here to be a good recruiter? That's going to be another thing too, because you're competing with Alabama, you're competing with Miami, you're competing with Florida State, you're competing with sometimes North Carolina comes down here and gets recruits. North Carolina State comes down here and gets recruits out of Florida. Wake Forest has been getting some recruits out of Florida. Some of the recruits do not want to stay in home. Gainesville at one time was that premier dominant, school. Since Tebow left and stuff like that. So how can Florida straighten that out? That's going to be a good question here. Who do you like to see? I think Bill Napier is, I think the Louisiana coach. His name's been mentioned down here. Tebow's name has been mentioned down in Florida to replace Dan Mullins. Who do you? I mean, if you got any Florida fans out here listening to the show today, comment. We want to know who you like to see come. Miami's rumored been Lane Kiffin going to Miami if Manny Diaz is fired. Deion Sanders' name has been brought up. If Florida State goes into a different direction, or if they're going to let Novell stay as head coach. I mean, they've been playing good football here in the last 3 or 4 weeks under Novell, so that could be riding the ship right in at Florida State. So I mean, there's a lot of coaching carousel going on here today. Around football, this is the time of year that everybody starts getting their notions to fire coaches. I mean, if you look at it here, let's take a look at some of the coaching carousel here. We had Randy Edsall at Uconn resign on September 6th. Edsall resigned after the Husky went 0-2. Edsall had 2 separated stints at Uconn. The first one from 1999 to 2010 saw the program made the rise to the FBS ranks and accumulates with a trip to the Fiesta Bowl in 2010. He's out. USC fired Clay Hilton. Hilton, who had been on the hot seat the past few seasons, was fired after the Trojans went 42-28, lost to Stanford in week 2. Chan Lungsfeld at Georgia Southern at September 26th. He was fired. Lungsfeld was fired after a 1-3 start on the season. So some of these teams didn't wait. Uconn has now hired Jim Mora, former USC head coach at Uconn. How's that going to transition in this next year in the recruiting? You got a good name in Jim Mora, who did pretty good at USC. At UCLA. So, I mean, will this be a good step for him? Who's going to be the next USC coaches? I know Deion Sanders' name has been flipped out there at USC too, also with TCU. Georgia Southern did hire Clay Hilton for the replacement of Chad Lungsfeld. So Clay Hilton didn't stay out too long. He was hired by Georgia Southern. Ed Ogeron. There's a rumor out there that LSU has offered Lincoln Riley, the Oklahoma head coach, $96 million for 10 years. Will he take that job? There's been rumored that he might accept that job at LSU. How's that going to help out? There. That's going to be interesting because Oklahoma comes into the SEC, and I think in 2023. So that's going to be an interesting dilemma there for Lincoln Riley. Does he take the money and leave Oklahoma? In Oklahoma, it will be going into the SEC in 2023. That's going to be a good question there. Washington State fired Nick Roblechek, who's going to be the next head coach at Washington State. Texas Tech, Matt Wells was fired or resigned, and then Joey McGuire took over. So he did okay at Texas Tech. I mean, you guys still got to get his recruits in there. TCU, Gary Patterson, he got fired or resigned, if you want to call it that. Sonny Dykes took over that team. Is Sonny Dykes going to be the actual head coach to replace him? There's words that he might be sticking around as the head coach. Akron, Tom Arth. UMass, Walt Bell was fired, and Don Brown took over at UMass. Will Don Brown keep that job, going into the 2022 season? Washington, Jim Lake. Is he on his way out? FIU, Butch Davis. Is he on his way out too? Virginia Tech fired Justin Fuente. Who's going to be the next head coach at Virginia Tech? That's going to be a good question. Now, if Florida State does leave Noel out, if he fires him, that might be a good landing place for, the Florida State head coach in Virginia Tech. And then Deion Sanders take over Florida State. Most Florida State fans probably would like that. Dan Mullen's out of Florida. Doug Martin's out of New Mexico State. Chip Lindsey's out of Troy. And Skip Holtz is the latest one to join this list out of Louisiana Tech. So you got some changes coming up. We're going to be monitoring that throughout the offseason here, through the bowl season and off season of college football. This is the premier college pregame show on the social media realm. We are also, you can check out the ASAP Network. We are also located on the Roku platform, soon to be on the Amazon Fire TV if you have that too. So that's another way you can watch this show. You can watch some of my other like Real Talk, Bring It on Mondays. We got the Touchdown Crew that comes on, gives you your Sunday doses of pregame show there. They're on the network too. You got shows like Just Say the Truth. You got shows like Loose Nugs for NASCAR fans. If you're NASCAR fans on Monday nights, we have at 7:30. We have the Loose Lugs team that comes on and talks about NASCAR on the All Sports All Place network. So you can check that out. So I mean, we got a lot of great shows here. Getting everything started here. We got a lot of interesting takes to go through here today. We got 45 games. I'm gonna be picking games, I guess, solo today. If you want to look here, last week I had Landon on. We did a pick 'em last, and let's see here. Yeah. That was the score. Landon was 38-16. I was 37-17. We came down to the last game of our pick 'em, and he picked the right team. So he edged me out by one game. So good job, Landon. That's our record. We picked 54 games last week, so that's our record there. So let's talk about the college. Let's talk about the college breakdown here. Let's talk about the college playoff. Georgia, number 1. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Alabama. Number 4, Cincinnati. Number 5, Michigan. Number 6, Notre Dame. Number 7, Oklahoma State. Number 8, Baylor. Number 9, Ole Miss. And number 10, Oklahoma. You can follow the rest of them 11 through 25 there on the college playoffs. There, I'll let they roll through here. Let's talk about some of the games on Friday. What I mentioned here, North Carolina lost to North Carolina State in a wild one in Raleigh. North Carolina was up by 9. They had a total meltdown. once you get a lead, you don't let the receiver beat you. They had a blown coverage. This Storm thought they had a safety over the top, which the safety didn't come over the top. So that left Imizi wide open to get that one key touchdown. Then they had the onside kick. A little bit, what it is college football, man. Anything can happen, and that's what it did. So, I mean, you got to get taps your hands off to North Carolina State for producing that win. They get a chance to try to go for the ACC championship game. They haven't been since the ACC has formed a championship game. I think they're the only North Carolina team that has not been yet to the ACC championship game. So, I mean, the only way they can get there if Wake Forest lose to Boston College. But we're going to talk about that game here in a few minutes. We're going to start breaking down the Georgia Tech game here first. Our first college breakdown game. Saturday, this game is taking place at 12 o'clock at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. This game can be watched on ABC. Georgia comes in at 11-0. Georgia Tech comes in at 3-8. And like I said, can Georgia Tech be the first team that can block Davis, that nose tackle? That nose tackle has been a beast for Georgia. Georgia's defense is set up by him. And what I'm talking about is he likes to come up the middle. And if you get pressure up the middle and your defensive ends, if you have a running quarterback, can get on the outside of them, then you're gonna have some kind of history on that. So what I'm talking about, if you get pressure up the middle, that's kind of hard for a quarterback to roll out if your defensive ends that are coming up the field and crashing in on that other side. So that's what the key to Georgia Tech today is. Can their quarterbacks help out on the running game? Can they keep Davis out of there? I mean, if you look at it, the Yellow Jackets has been okay offensively, but defense has crashed. It's not coming up with enough big plays in the secondary, and the run defense has been plowed over way too much. They're giving up over 200 yards rushing in 3 of the last 5 games and getting bombed on the average of 300 passing yards a game over the last 8 games. So that's going to be a key right there because, Georgia's that 3-headed monster running back game. You got Cook, and the other 2 running backs there, getting it going. And then you got Stenson Benson, who's been doing okay, managing the offense, have big plays in time. He's not got a big arm, but he knows how to place the ball. He's a good accuracy passer. So that's going to be a good test there too. And you got JT Daniels, who's on the bench, who's got a big arm, So, I mean, we don't know what's going to go there. If, some of the things said, it doesn't matter if they can get past this win right here, there'll be a shoe into the playoffs, even though if they do lose to Alabama in the championship game, they think they're still going to be in the NCAA playoffs. I mean, I wouldn't blame them because they've been number 1 all season long. So that's going to be another good question there too in the barometer of this. Can the Yellow Jackets pull the major upset this week on this weekend? So that's going to be another good question there. The only way Georgia Tech can win is one big thing is they got to block the nose tackle. That's got to be the key. The key, you have to stop Davis. Davis has not been blocked all season long. I mean, he's back in the backfield time and time again, and it's destroyed teams. And you can tell by the score. I mean, Tennessee is the only one that had really much success against this Georgia defense scoring 20 points. I mean, it's kind of hard to score while Georgia is, averaging up there over 30 points a game. So, I mean, if you can't stay with Georgia in that attack, then, what else can you see here on that? So, I mean, that's going to be a key there. You got a double team. You might have to double team them, and that might leave somebody else open and have somebody else try to beat you up on that defensive line. If you can't get to the secondary, you can't get to the next level, the linebackers on that running game is not going to be effective. So that's going to be a good key there. Which 2 quarterbacks will have a good day for Georgia Tech? Will it be Sims? We don't know. I mean, that's a tale of the tape there. What can Georgia Tech do to Georgia that Georgia hasn't seen yet? And can they stick that, that key, that barometer that we're talking about? If Davis gets in that backfield and really takes pounding, in that backfield, Georgia might not even score. I mean, they got blank. They got blank before. I mean, can they? Will they do it here? I mean, some people are saying Georgia Tech going to get 10 points. It's going to give them at least 10 points. I mean, to me, Georgia's defense could be that tough, and I haven't. I mean, Georgia Tech did play, certain teams very good this year. They had some key wins against some key moments against ranked teams. I think the downfall for North Carolina wasn't that Georgia Tech game when they lost to Georgia Tech. I mean, that really put a hurt in the licking. Then lose Florida State and North Carolina. So, but I mean, Georgia Tech did beat North Carolina when they were ranked. So I mean, that's another good barometer to look at too. But which defense will we get? If we get the defense that played against North Carolina and from Georgia Tech, then we might see a good type of barometer of outlooks here for the Georgia defense. But if they can't block, the key is you have to block Davis' nose guard. If he gets the pressure of the middle, that handles the quarterback for rolling out because you got the defensive end going up line. So that's gonna be another good question there. So I mean, what kind of barometer we're gonna look at in this ball game here? I mean, some people are saying this. I mean, Georgia's favored by 35 points. Where they cover the spread here. The over and under is 54.5. Some people say Georgia's going to score 44, Georgia Tech 10. I mean, I could well see a 60-0 game. I mean, that's how good Georgia is. That's how good Georgia defense really is. I mean, what are we going to say? What will we say to that? So I mean, if you look at it, if you look at what we see in the barometer of this Georgia Tech game, this is a mismatch, a total mismatch. Can we see anything happen to Tech to get on the board here? Can they make that one extensive drive? Can they stay in the game? If they can stay in the game through halftime, this could be a good confidence builder from the third and fourth quarter. But if Georgia blows them out in the first quarter, then that's just going to be off to the races. I have Georgia actually winning this game big. You might see Georgia Tech score 3 points, maybe. I don't think that 10 points is kind of pushing it. I think Georgia could score 60. I could be wrong, but if they get up big, take Stanson Bennett, get some JT Daniels time, get him ready for that. If in case they need to go to Daniels in that Alabama and Georgia championship game the following, next weekend in Atlanta. So that's gonna be a good thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick Georgia win this ball game. So that's gonna be huge. Now the Big Ten. Moving into the Big Ten, we're moving into that Ohio State versus Michigan game. This game is played at 12 o'clock. It's going to be at the Michigan Stadium, Ann Arbor. They call it the Big House. Big House is going to be rocking and rolling with over 110,000 people in that stadium. Ohio State comes in at 10-1. Michigan comes in at 10-1. Michigan lost to Michigan State. Ohio State lost to Oregon early in the season. But since that Oregon game, Ohio State has been pushed through, has won 9 straight. So what would it do? I mean, if you saw that, you see Michigan lose to Michigan State, but you saw Ohio State kill Michigan State in Columbus. So now this game is in Ann Arbor. Can Jim Harbaugh get his first victory over Ohio State? That's the key. Now, if he loses this one, is Jim Harbaugh on his way out of Michigan, or is Michigan going to give him another year? I mean, the football team has been playing good. They had that one. They were playing awesome in that Michigan State game. This easily Michigan could have came in here undefeated, but Antonio Walker turned it on in that third, fourth quarter that really hampered Michigan because they couldn't stop the running game. Now the question is, can they stop Ohio State's running game? That's going to be a big question in the Big House. If you look at it this way. That Ohio State 56-7 over the win over the Spartans, that looked very big. I mean, I mean, that really looked huge on that thing. Being another ranked team, Ohio State has NFL wide receivers type doing things. The elite offensive line, NFL running back, Trayvon Henderson, and quarterback and CJ Stroud that just needed a little time and experience. Now he is in total command of the attack. I mean, Ohio State still got, Day on the sideline, still got that complex offensive scheme. They still got talented wide receivers and NFL type calibers. Michigan's quarterbacks are going to be on party on the island together. Most of the day. I mean, are they going to be? How can they put pressure on CJ Stroud? That's going to be a good question. They're going to probably have to bring blitzes if they're running game. If Ohio State running game, then they have to drop 8 or 9 men, 8 men in box. And that takes away from your back end. Puts your back end on a little bit of the corners on the island. Can they hold up against Ohio State? They're playing in the big house in Ann Arbor, Michigan. They're undefeated this year at their home, so that's gonna be another issue there too. Can they stay undefeated at Michigan? Can Michigan win this game here? Now, if Michigan does win this game, this will probably all on purpose knock Ohio State out of that NCAA playoff race and will move Michigan into the up into the playoff race. But Ohio State probably be sitting on the outside if Michigan falters if Michigan get past Ohio State and then get past and then losing the championship game, that could put Ohio State back in if that scenario happens. Just if a scenario happens, stuff like that. If Michigan loses, they're totally out, not going to be able to come back into the picture. So that's the thing. Can Michigan play the type defense that can beat Ohio State? That's going to be the thing. So if Purdue and it was obliterated by the Buckeyes, but Penn State and Nebraska were each able to keep the power of Buckeyes attack on ballistic. That's going to be the thing here. To make this just interesting, Michigan has to run the ball. Michigan will have to run the ball. They have not been effectively on the run this year. Some games they have, some games they're not. They have to run the football. If they can run the football against Ohio State, and then the quarterback for Michigan has a barometer of passing, if he can have that same passing attack that he had against Michigan State, he was completing a lot of passes downfield, then that could put a little bit of pressure on Ohio State's corners and Ohio State's defense. So this is going to be a good game here at 12 o'clock. Oregon ran 269 yards and won the game. So if they can get in that type of range of what Oregon got over 200 yards, this could be a good help for Michigan to win this football game today. So that's what we're looking at too here on this Saturday. I'm trying to think here. Can Ohio State push this? Can Ohio State really push this defense to where it breaks and then Jim Harbaugh is all over the place? I mean, you get Jim Harbaugh frustrated, certain calling plays won't work. Can they force that? Can we see that? And this time, what else can we see in this ball game? I mean, if you look at the Michigan rushing attack, it has slowed over the last few months. Pass game has been able to make up for it. In this secondary, the 8 in the nation in pass defense has hold and early and not late. Let this get out of hand. The Wolverine O-line has to take care of the pounding, away slowly. Things are down a bit. That's going to be the key. Up front from Michigan, can the up front Michigan offensive line take control of the defensive line? If the defense is resetting the line of scrimmage and resetting the edge, they're going to have a hard time running the football against Ohio State. But if Michigan can put the big guys on them and move them down the field and reset that off and then move that off the line of scrimmage down the field on the running game, then we can see that, happening. That could be very efficient for Michigan to win this ball game today. So, the big question is, Jim Harbaugh can't beat Ohio State. Almost no one can lately, at least on the regular basis. yes, this is a game that Michigan always loses, mostly so it's embarrassing fashion. These are some keys here, for Jim Harbaugh. Yes, Ohio State is really that good, but the pieces are there on the Wolverines to do what Nebraska and Penn State did and keep this close in the fourth quarter. That's got to be the key. Can they keep this game close in the fourth quarter? If they can keep this game close in the fourth quarter, then the pressure will be on Ohio State, and then Michigan can, but still, again, a lot of pressure. Yeah, it's a lot of pressure here, Hold on one second. I got somebody who wants to come in here. Let me share this. Let me share the link to get them into the main chat room here. How about that? All right, let's see if I get some people to jump on here to comment. But we're looking at this Ohio State game here, so we got very big pressure to shoes to fit off of. In Ohio State. Yes, if Ohio State wins the Big Ten championship, it will go to the college playoff. But Michigan will be more than just a speed bump along the way. But the question is Ohio State got enough pressure on them? Because they got to play up that certain level, that certain thing. They got a lot of pressure in this ball game here, but they got to meet the level to go into the thing. Then they got to go into the Big Ten. If they make it to the Big Ten championship, they got a lot of pressure in it. But can Michigan hold off and beat Ohio State? Is this going to be a close game than what we anticipated, or will Ohio State go in there and do what they did against Michigan State? That's going to be the question here. So I don't know. So I mean, it's a lot of issues here for Michigan State and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick break, real quick here, and we'll be back. We're gonna get some messages from the Fox D Network. You're listening to the All Sports, All Place Network College Breakdown Show. I am Ray Cruz, your host, and we'll be back momentarily.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Place Network College Breakdown Show. This is Ray Cruz. I am your host. I am coming to you live from my studio in Jacksonville, Florida. We talked about the Georgia Tech game, where we're right now on the Ohio State Michigan game. I'd like to hear some comments from the Michigan fans and Ohio State fans who are in here about the game today. What do you expect? What's going to happen in this ball game? Will Michigan State have a chance to win this game here since they're playing in Ann Arbor? The weather conditions, that's going to be a good question that we want to talk about too. So let me see here. So let me see. I'll have to find it later. I was just looking for some stuff here, a little bit of more information about this game. But anyway, so we're looking at this way. This game here is Ohio State will win this Big Ten championship, and it will go to the college playoffs. Will it be tight early? Will Stroud be pressured? I mean, he's a freshman. This is the first time playing in the Michigan Ohio State rivalry. I mean, he's got some game experience. He's still a freshman. Okay, will he make freshman mistakes in this ball game? That's going to be some of the key big things too. I mean, most people think Ohio State is going to win 37-27. Ohio State comes in 8.5 favorite, 64 and over. Can we see Michigan pull this upset? Can Michigan State in this ball game to the fourth quarter, put pressure on CJ Stroud to make these big plays? Will we see the Wolverines defense wilted in the first and second quarter, and this game could be over in a blink of an eye by halftime? But I think Michigan is a pretty good team. I think Michigan can stay with them. I think Michigan has the defense caliber, what they had, Nebraska and Penn State does. I think they're a little bit better on defense than Penn State and Nebraska. So I think this could give them a lot of trouble. Can this be the first time Jim Harbaugh wins against Ohio State, even in the big house? So that's going to be the good question here. That's going to be a good, a good feed here to see this game here. I'm in debate for this right now. I don't know if I want to pull the upset or I just want to stay with the favorite team. But I have some kind of feeling I'm gonna pull the upset here today. I'm gonna say Michigan will win at home over Ohio State. Excuse me. So we took care of those two games. We took care of this. We took care of that. So, and let me bring in a co-host here, Coach Dante. How you doing? Welcome to the College Breakdown Show.
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So what's your take on this Ohio State-Michigan game today?
All right, hold on. I got to go get my food right quick. I'll be back.
All right. So while he does that, come back and we'll talk about that with him. So we talked about the Georgia game. We talked about some of the action Friday that happened with key interesting, coming up here in this thing. So we got to see what kind of defensive thing we're going to see what Coach Dante take is on the Ohio State Michigan game. Is this going to be a good game to watch? I mean, it's going to be a lot of people watching this ball game because some of the good teams already played. We had 16 games on Friday. We had 4 games on Thursday. We had 4 games on Tuesday. We had total 24 teams already. 24 games already been played. We got 45 games up here. We just talked about the Georgia Tech game. We on the Ohio State Michigan game. We still got a lot more takes here on the College Breakdown Show. Let's go ahead and move this to another good screen here to bring up some overlays here on this one here. Let me see here. No, it's not. That's this one. There we go. We'll bring up the overlay here to put it up on this big network here. So we got 2 men here. So what can we see? We're gonna get Dante's word here in a few minutes on that. Let's go and bring it up. The next game we're gonna be talking about will be the Wake Forest Deacons. This is a big game here. for the people in Raleigh, North Carolina, and North Carolina State here. They're rooting for Boston College today. Like I said, they had a big victory against North Carolina on Friday night. This game is at 12 o'clock. This game is at Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. This game can be watched on ESPN2. The Deacons coming in 9-2. Boston College coming in 6-5. So, NC State is watching this game here to make sure if Wake Forest wins, they go to the ACC championship. If Wake Forest lose, North Carolina State goes to the ACC championship. So this is a no defense exactly Georgia or Wisconsin. So let's go with Coach here when he gets back on here. Let's go with Coach and talk about the Ohio State-Michigan game. What is your take on that Ohio State-Michigan game?
Obviously, man, thank you for having me on the channel, man. Everybody know y'all see me on ASAPs in the morning. Sometimes you see me on the NBA shows over here. But my take on the Michigan-Ohio State game, I will be doing that game at 12 o'clock. The winner of this game, simple as that. Move on to the Big Ten championship, and whoever wins that game basically gets in the playoffs. The loser is out. But what I'm most definitely looking for, can Jim Harbaugh step up and win that big game that the program brought him in for? They didn't bring him in just to beat Ohio State. They also brought him in to make the playoffs. So if you can make an argument, if he doesn't get it done in this scenario, and this probably the best chance that Jim Harbaugh has besides that season that they played at the shoe that everybody thought they got robbed. This is probably his best chance to do it. One thing about Jim Harbaugh, he always have great cornerbacks. He always have some athletic players, but you can never get that quarterback situation right. Is this the year that Jim Harbaugh finally got the quarterback situation right? And on the offensive side of the ball, Ohio State has always been powerful. They always been powerful on the defensive side of the ball. They just better than Michigan. So again, that's my take on it. That's what I'm looking for. And can Jim Harbaugh finally get this team over the top against Ohio State and get to the playoff? Because that's what he's brought in for. He has not been able to do that. So if he doesn't get past them, you may have to make an argument. Should he be fired up out of Michigan?
Yeah, that's another thing too, because I mean, you bring him in, you bring alumni back. What the Ohio State and the Michigan game is all about. He hasn't won it yet. Can he? I mean, this is about the best chance he can do. Thanks. And I mean, will Michigan's defense give C.J. Stroud, freshman quarterback, a different look? One thing about the difference between college football and NFL football is the defensive coordinators know how to scheme for rookie quarterbacks and see defense that they don't see. College, you really don't see the defensive coordinator scheming against a freshman to see if they know how to read the defense. So that's going to be a good key. I mean, Harbaugh's got that NFL pedigree. Will he try to mix up that defense a little bit to make it look like a different type of defense with the same concept?
Yep. I mean, that's the one thing. He's got NFL coaching experience. He was also successful at that level. I think he won. I thought that's the one that was in San Francisco. Okay, that's the one that was in San Francisco.
Right.
So he knows about winning culture. But at this point of time, I mean, he had his opportunities to make the playoffs, or get to a Big Ten championship, and he has not been able to do that. And he's been able to recover well, and like you said, and this is I feel like this is his best shot right here. No more excuses for Jim. No more excuses. This has to be the game that he finally gets over the hump. Or are you talking about his job being on the line, or probably going back to the NFL? Where I thought he was most comfortable at, where he was comfortable at in the first place, and maybe do he take another job opening in college?
See, that's going to be another good thing, too, because if you look at this, the Michigan fan base is getting wary about this situation. If they can't beat Ohio State, I mean, they haven't beat them regularly. And with Jim Harbaugh there, they thought that would be a change in culture and stuff like that, going back to because you got your Michigan alumni at the stadium. So he knows what the culture is. He knows what the game is about. But the problem is he's been running against these Ohio State juggernaut teams, And this could be another one. I mean, they still got NFL type wide receivers for Ohio State. You still got it, but the thing is, the running game is going to be the problem for Michigan. I mean, Michigan's running game lately has been tailored off, and they've been competing with the pass. And you can't be a one-dimensional against Ohio State.
Oh no, you definitely can't do that. You have to open up. You have to get some type of versatility. That's anytime you play football, play the game of football. Football is basically one in the trenches. So if you basically can run the ball, you open up a lot of opportunities for play action and the screen game. So that's one thing Michigan got to come out. They have to come out establishing in that run game and take some of that stress off their quarterback. So again, Ohio State is no slouch on that defensive side of the ball either. They're very good on the defensive side of the ball. They have always been good. They always been good on both sides of the ball, and that's the problem. Ohio State is great on both sides of the ball. Michigan have not been great in this loser streak on both sides of the ball. They've been competitive on the defensive side of the ball, but the offense side of the ball, always be inconsistent, and they always can't get the quarterback situation right. Last year it was Milton. He played terrible. The year before you had Shea Patterson. He was inconsistent. So that's the one position that Michigan has not been able to get right so far, and they always been inconsistent and had to rely on their defense. And this game, they're gonna have to come out running the football, controlling the pace, controlling time of possession. If they can keep that Ohio State at bay offense off the field, they have a great shot. But I mean, that's the problem. Will they be able to do it? Will they be able to be consistent enough? And Ohio State, they're athletic all around both. They can put points on the board. They can also stop you on the defensive side. So it'll definitely be an interesting game to watch, man. So both teams' playoff hopes is on the line. The loser just is out. They go to another bowl game. They go to another bowl game, but they won't be in the playoff and have a chance to get a chance for that Big Ten title and also get to the playoffs. So it's pressure on both teams today.
Yeah. So when it gets to that fourth quarter and this game is tight, will this start affecting CJ Stroud? I mean, he's a freshman, so I mean the pressure of this big game and playing in Ann Arbor, with over 114,000 people going to be in the stadium today. They're going to pack it solid, try to set a new attendance record here. Yep. So that's going to be the question here. I mean, Ohio State's favored by 8.5.
That right now. I mean, that shows you how people value Ohio State, how better they think Ohio State is. I mean, it looks like that for the last couple of years. I mean, ever since they had that close game, if Jim Harbaugh would have won that one, he probably would have won in college football playoff at that time. But other than that, the last 2 years been lopsided victories, been blowout victories, not even close. So I see why they have Ohio State winning this game by 8 points over Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, you got two things here. If Michigan can stop the big plays from happening and make them drive the field, it could be their advantage. But if Ohio State gets these big plays, it could take the air right out of your defense real quick.
Oh yeah. Anytime you get a big play up the field, you take that top off that defense, man. It just opens up more, and that's I'll say you'll know by the first drive. If Ohio State comes out, punch them in the mouth, and score in the first drive, and able to do that and move the football, what type of game is gonna be coming out of this game. Whether if Michigan going to be able to compete today. So watch the first drive, and if Ohio State just comes out, punches them in the mouth, and go down the field, score with ease, what type of game is going to be for Michigan.
Yeah, if that happens and Jim Harbaugh gets frustrated, then that goes all of Michigan game plan, because when he gets frustrated, the team gets frustrated.
Yep. Yeah. You're right about that.
My boy Dre is on here. He comes on and he's like, "That's khaki pants." So will he wear khaki pants again?
Hey, you may never know, man. He may not be wearing it for Michigan. Michigan, if he don't get past this game, may not be wearing it for Michigan.
Yeah. So we're gonna move into our next game, and we're gonna talk about this game. This game is at 12 o'clock Eastern Time at Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. ESPN2. Wake Forest coming in 92. Boston College coming in 6-5. Wake Forest got a lot of stuff riding here. North Carolina State was putting pressure on Wake Forest, beating North Carolina last night, 34-30 on that wild comeback at the end. So if this is for the ACC Atlantic Division.
Okay.
So if Wake Forest wins, they go to the ACC championship. If Wake Forest loses, North Carolina State goes into the ACC championship.
Okay.
So this game is against Boston College, who's 6-5, who's really a more talented team than what their record is, but they play
Yeah.
good at home. So what is your take? If Hartman comes out here, the quarterback for Wake Forest, if he comes out here and throws a flat, like he did against Clemson,
Yeah.
then they're going to be in serious trouble. What do we
Yeah.
see out of Wake Forest today? Both teams, one team plays defense, the other team don't.
I think you should see an all around complete game from Wake Forest today, man. Like you said, the quarterback. A lot to say, but I mean, Clemson is still very good. Let's not get Clemson is still very good. They just didn't play good. They just played against better. The Georgia was just better. Georgia was just a better team. Georgia got the best defense in college football by far. They're the best defensive team in college football. I mean, and then I think I picked against Wake Forest last weekend to lose. I think I picked against them last weekend, and then they lost again. So I'm surprised of their performance this year. They have a lot of great wins, but I mean, you should go into Boston College and beat Boston College, a 6-5 Boston College. But like I say, college, everything happens. Everything happens in college. So Boston College is really better than what they are. So if that quarterback don't come in and throw a flat tire, I can see Wake Forest coming out with this win. Again, I can see Wake Forest also getting upset in this football game. I mean, when they play against somebody really actually good, Wake Forest can't even get I don't think they can get the job done. I think Clemson is in the ACC championship, right? They purchased their ticket in the ACC championship. Well, that was Pittsburgh. Which one of them?
No, Pittsburgh's in there, but Clemson won't have a chance to get in there because they had NC State to lose last night.
Oh, okay.
And Wake Forest lose today for them to have a chance to get in there. But right now, it's between North Carolina State and Wake Forest. Wake Forest wins, Wake Forest is in. If Wake Forest loses, North Carolina State's in.
All right.
So it's
the winner basically, the winner out of Wake Forest. If Wake Forest win, they play Pittsburgh for the ACC title, right?
That is correct.
All right. So yeah, I mean, again, Wake Forest, they have to come out strong. They have to come out and punch them in the mouth from the first possession on. And again, man, I got to see some defense in this game, man. I got to definitely see some defense in this game. But I got Wake Forest with winning this game. But Boston College, like you said, they're better than what they are. And some of these 6-5 teams, they're not a bad team. They're not bad teams, man. They're really actually very good teams.
Yeah, and Boston College's starting quarterback Phil Javek, he's been helping out pretty good since he's coming back. But, Wake Forest defense is against, the secondary's bad, and their run defense is worse. But one thing about Wake Forest, when they get into the red zone, their defense picks up.
Yeah. Because it's a short field, basically. You shorten the field, basically, when you get in the end, when you get by the end zone area. But again, man, this is a big game for Wake Forest, man. They got to come out and win this game, man. They got to come out and win this game.
And if Wake Forest gets out and gets these big plays against Boston College, that could be a long day for Boston College too.
Oh yeah,
Hartman gets some rhythm. That's it. If he can put pressure on Hartman, get him out of rhythm, then you get pretty much it's in dire straits. So to me, I think Boston College could be in some trouble here.
Yeah, I got Wake Forest. I got Wake Forest.
Yeah, if you're gonna go into a scoring rant with Wake Forest, you're probably gonna lose.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I got Wake winning in Chestnut Hill and making NC State fans cry.
He said making NC State fans cry. Yeah, I got Wake Forest winning this game. I got them winning this game. I think they'll beat them by at least 10 points. I got them winning by at least 10 points. 10 points in this game.
So I'm a Tar Heel fan, so last night I got bombarded from the State fans. So, but that's okay though, because at the end I'm gonna get the last laugh at them. Because if Wake Forest wins, they don't go to the ACC championship, and North Carolina's been at least one ACC championship game since they started. So, that 2-set bubble is really good. So we're gonna stay right into the ACC here. Okay. We're gonna have an ACC and SEC matchup. We got Florida State at Florida, At 12 o'clock, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville, Florida. ESPN is carrying this game. Florida State comes in at 5-6. Florida comes in at 5-6. The winner of this game will take a bowl game, become bowl eligible. That's pretty sad when you got two top tier, used to be good in football, and
Programs,
now they balancing it out, trying to make who's going to keep the other team out of the bowl eligibility. So,
That's
with Florida firing Dan Mullins, what will we see out of this Florida team today?
You should when you get a head coach fired, it's either he didn't fit or he lost the locker room, or he just wasn't a good coach for this team. But again, you should see a Florida team come out energized. You should see a Florida State come out ready to play football, like they want to make it be bowl eligible. I mean, on paper, Florida looks better than Florida State, but where it shows up on the field, I mean, these were two top tier programs at one point, national championship programs at one point, and it's sad how to see both of these programs fall off the face of the earth and fall off the map. But I mean, I think Florida's going to come out motivated. I think they're going to come out playing good football. I don't know which quarterback is starting. And Florida should have beat Alabama. They should have beaten Alabama. They should have came back. They should have beaten Alabama. Florida played in a lot of close games. They should have won. But again, like I say, when you're not a good football team, you find a way to lose some of those close games. So again, I got Florida winning this game, but it wouldn't shock me if Florida State wins this game either, because Florida State has always also been bad. They've been bad for the last couple of years. They have not been very, very good. So again, the pressure is on Florida. The pressure is mostly on Florida. I feel like they have to win this game, and I got them coming out great energy. I think they're gonna be ready to play. I think they're gonna go bowling, and I think Florida State will be an odd man. I got Florida winning. I got Florida winning this game 23-17.
My wife won't like that. She's a Florida State fan, so yeah. But my friends down the street, they'll like it.
Mm-hmm.
They're Gator fans, but Richardson is starting for Florida State. I think he's the better quarterback. Starting for Florida, I think he's a better quarterback than Emory Jones is.
Yeah.
He's a better accurate passer, so that might give him a little bit of help right there to do this. But Travis, the quarterback for Florida State, hasn't been a slouch either. But the only problem with his notch is he's inconsistent with the throws.
Yeah,
that's the key there. Inconsistent with the throws. So yeah. The Big Show Sports Show said, "Love the podcast, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at this, the ram of things here, Richardson's a better quarterback, better thing. But if Florida State quarterback gets a head and steam and start running the game, then his passing comes a little bit better off once he gets into the game a little bit more. So if he can keep this game close and Ben Griffin Stadium, 95,000 people there plus, maybe. Sometime when Florida don't get good, the crowd is not full. So this is gonna be a huge game for Florida State, a huge game for Florida to get into bowl eligibility and get that extra few practice like teams like to get this time of year. Because you get spring break, spring things a long time ago. So
that's a lot of time off.
Yeah, Florida State is like the Detroit Lions, always losing games, close games. That's true, but I mean,
that's true.
But it's still been a powerhouse team, and then by the late Bob Bowden, had that program going.
The difference is Detroit don't have a win this year. Florida State got 5 of them, so that's basically the difference. That's basically the difference right there. The Lions just a bad football team overall. They just a bad football team.
Yeah. Florida is favored by 2.5 in this game. The over and under is 59 points. Some people got Florida winning 27-23. It's gonna be a close game. Could be a field goal deciding this game.
Yep, I got to win it 23-17 against Florida State. I think it's gonna be a very close game.
Yeah, I say it's gonna come down to a field goal, and you got the mystique of Florida State like to go wide left every time. So
He said
you
wide
know,
left all the time.
yeah. So this could be
Oh my
a
goodness.
wide left field goal type of game. So it's gonna be close, but I got Florida State actually winning this one.
Okay. Yeah. Hey,
26-27.
it can happen. It can happen the way Michigan played. I mean, the way Florida played this year. They can happen because they blew a lot of games. They had a lot of opportunities, and I'm gonna be interested to see what coach takes that job. What coach takes that job in Florida? Because I think that's still a attractive job for coaches to take.
Well, right now, Bill Napier, the Louisiana coach, has been
Mm-hmm.
rumored around there. Um, I don't know who else, but they need to. If whoever hires, they need to come in with a better defensive coordinator and a better offensive coordinator
Yeah.
because that offense was atrocious under Dan Mullins, and the defense under you know his defensive coordinator he fired early in the after
Yeah.
that Georgia game, he was even worse.
He said
So
easy worse.
I mean, they gotta find something down there to reerect this thing. And now if Norvell loses this game, is he out of Florida State with all that pressure trying to get Deion Sanders in at Florida State?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be time. I think it's time for him to go. I think it's time for a new change if he loses this game. If Florida State loses this game, I think he's on the fire. Just like I said again, you might have to consider same thing from Jim Harbaugh on the Michigan. If he loses today, you might have to consider pulling the trigger on Jim Harbaugh. All the I say due to the fact he just cannot get a couple of things done and beat Ohio State and just go to the playoff. But yes, I think he should be on. I think he should be on the hot side. I think he should be fired. Just like I think from Texas, Steve Sarkisian, he should be fired from Texas. I don't care if it's his first year. I am a Texas Longhorns fan, but I think Steve Sarkisian should definitely be fired after this year. No excuses for this year. We haven't lost to Kansas in a goddamn decade, and we get dominated at home. You got guys. I mean, the locker room is in shambles. Got students that don't want to play for this guy, and you alternate quarterbacks throughout the whole year, so it ain't got even worse in Texas. So yes, the coach from Florida State, I think he should be fired, and I think Sarkisian should be fired from Texas away.
Yeah, while we talking about Texas Tech and Baylor,
Mm-hmm.
12 o'clock today. So what's your take on this ball game?
I got Baylor. I got Baylor winning this game. Baylor winning this game. I think they came off a big win against Oklahoma. Sorry about that, Bishop. That Bishop, my boy. He's an Oklahoma fan, but I did pick Baylor to beat Oklahoma in that game. I think Baylor offense is pretty good. Their defense is kind of competitive, but in the Big 12, defenses has always been the Achilles heel of the Big 12. I mean, that's kind of a conference where you just don't play no defense at that. You get all the fun and excitement on offense. No Big 12 game is never boring. You always gonna have scoring on the offensive side of the ball. But I got Baylor winning this game. They clearly are the better team on the offensive side of the ball. Their quarterback is a very good quarterback. Again, they got very good receivers, very good skill players on the offensive side of the ball. And Texas Tech, they're decent. They're 6-5, but it also could be a trap game for Baylor as well. I mean, the Big 12 is competitive all over, no matter the record or anything. You can't sleep on any type of team in the Big 12. Those games are always competitive. But I'm gonna have to trust Baylor to win this game here. To go in Lubbock to win this game, but don't be surprised if it be a upset right here in Texas Tech, because Texas Tech has been competitive the last couple of games, man. And the Big 12 is always fun and excitement. That's one thing I love about the Big 12. It's always close. No matter what the record is, it's always going to be close. But I got Baylor winning this game. They're clearly the better team than Texas Tech.
Yeah, Larry Fedora is the offensive coordinator at Baylor. I mean, he was in North Carolina, but his offense is pretty good, pretty fun to watch when he gets in the wide open and when you don't have teams playing defense. And that's going to be coming down to the factor here because he likes to run the ball out of that read option and then a lot of RPOs come in behind that. And they've been running that effectively this year in some games. The Oklahoma game, they really ran that effectively. So, I mean, if you look at Baylor's offense and you look at the paper, they're better talent-wise against Texas Tech. But like I said, Texas Tech has been playing good, against teams and stuff like that. They also can put points on the board too. So this game could be like a NASCAR game up and down.
Oh yeah. It can be. That's how Big 12 football always been, man. They always been like a NASCAR race. Basically, they always competitive. No matter what team you put out there, you can throw Kansas out there. They're gonna be competitive. They almost beat Oklahoma this year. So that's how competitive the Big 12 always gonna be. You're gonna always see close games. You're gonna not really see defense like that. But hey, that's what I wouldn't be surprised if you see an upset out of Texas Tech in this game.
Yeah, and then Houston at Uconn, is this going to be a game?
No,
it's going to be a blowout.
It's going to be a blowout.
So I guess we're both taking Houston in this one.
Yep.
Next game, really, the breakdown game is Maryland at Rutgers at 12 o'clock. This is at SHI Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey, home of Rutgers. Big Ten Network's carrying this game. Both teams become bowl eligible at 5-6 right now. Maryland's at 5-6, Rutgers at 5-6. Which team? Because if you look at Maryland's played competitive games here and there, and then they play non-competitive games. So, which Maryland team we're going to get today? In this
hard to tell. An inconsistent Maryland team by your standard. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. You might get an inconsistent team. So that's why I'm gonna take Rutgers, because like I said again, I don't know what type of Maryland team you're getting. They've been competitive, and they always been competitive in this Big Ten conference. It's just the other teams are just better than what they are. Like the Ohio States, all of those teams are just better. Michigan State, they're just better than them. So inconsistent on both sides of the football. You don't know what team you're gonna get. Rutgers, I'm going for Rutgers in this game because I just don't know what Maryland team is gonna come out and play. You can get that scary Maryland team that can either come out, jump on them right away, or you can either get a team that's gonna play down to their competition. And I think today they may play down in their competition. So I'm going to pick Rutgers to go bowling today.
Well, if you look at it this way too, but Maryland's defense is, they give a lot of bomb passing plays, but Rutgers don't go down the field. So Maryland really don't have to worry about them going down the field on them too much in this ball game. If they put pressure on Rutgers and stop that running game for Rutgers and then short passing game for Rutgers, then Maryland can be in the day. But also, Maryland can bomb away on their offense if Tagovailoa gets his act together and like he did against West Virginia, he put a lot of yards on that game, even though he threw like 7 interceptions. But I mean, he's a turnover machine. So
7? You said 7?
He threw 7 interceptions against West Virginia. Yep.
7 interceptions.
Yeah, one game.
And he stayed in the game.
Yeah.
I can't pick. That's for Maryland.
Yeah,
I can't pick Maryland. No. I can't. I got Rutgers in this game. I don't know how you last in the game that long throwing 7 interceptions. I just don't know how you last in the game that long. No, I'm going Rutgers.
I mean, that was the second game of the season. So
yeah,
I mean, but he's been throwing still a lot of interceptions here. Rutgers defense has came up with 38 on Indiana, 20 on Illinois, and 13 or fewer in the other 6 of the last 8 games. They have no downfield passing. If you look at the Scarlet Knights, were able to run 230 yards on Illinois and won. It was able to run 218 yards on Indiana and won. They're 4-1 this year when they get over 160 yards rushing, and Maryland only allows 160 yards per game in rushing. So that's the key number. If Maryland gives them the 160 yards, more likely Rutgers win. If Maryland can keep them under the 160 yards, then it gives a chance for Maryland to think. So Rutgers likes to control the clock. So time possession is going to be a key.
Also,
And
they love to run the football. They love to
yeah,
run the football and control time of possession. So if they can come out and do that, they have a great chance. But you always want to make a team one dimensional in this game. Your first key. You always want to stop the run, and make a quarterback beat you with his arm. So if Merlin can do that, they have a great shot. To win this game. But I'm still take Rutgers in this game to go bowling at home.
yeah. Well, Maryland's favored by 1.5 points. Over and under is 53. Maryland. Some people say Maryland's going to score 26. Rutgers is only going to score 17. But that, talking about your thing here is a little bit opposite for Maryland. You got to stop Maryland's pass game and let them run the ball because they can't run the ball.
Yep.
So that's going to be the key. That's going to be the key there. So you'll probably see a nickel defense most of the game, trying to keep that passing attack where they won't be run off big explosion. So I think Maryland will go up in New Jersey and win. It's just because Graciano doesn't have his players yet. So
okay.
On that one. So I'm a military guy, so we gotta get the military academies games in here.
Yeah.
Gotta pay respects for them,
Yep, I feel you on that.
I'm a Navy guy, but we're gonna talk about Army versus Liberty.
Okay.
This game is at 12:00 at Williams Stadium in Lynchburg, Virginia. ESPN Plus. Army comes in at 7-3. Liberty comes in at 7-4. Hugh Freeze's got that Liberty program turned around.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we see? Liberty coming off the loss last week at Ole Miss. So what do we see out of this? Because when you play a military academy, you're gonna get the option run. So about the option teams.
Yeah.
You got to you got to play assignment football and defense.
Yeah.
And if you get out of that gap, they can burn you. So it's a lot of. To me, options is a lot of eye candy. They give you a lot of eye candy. You got to know which one it's got because sometimes they put in the belly of the fullback, which is really your running back, and then they option off that. So what do we see in this ball game from Liberty to just try to stop this Army option team?
Well, like I said again, that it's not easy to stop an option team. It's not easy to stop that because, like you said, again, you don't know. That can kind of throw you off a little bit. You don't know who's going to get the ball. You don't know if the running back or the fullback is going to get the ball. It's kind of tricky because they rarely even throw. They rarely even throw the ball. So it will be kind of surprised when they see them throw the ball. So again, it's not easy to stop an option team. They got to stop. They got to figure out a way. They got to be disciplined. You got guys. They got to stay in their gaps. That's what you got. That's what you got to do if you're Liberty. You got guys. You got to be disciplined. You got to stay in your gaps. You got to read the flow of this game. You got to read the feel. So, Malik Willis is a dynamic player. I think he's going to be a first-round pick this year. And a lot of people is not excited about this quarterback class. And Liberty played a very good Ole Miss team last week, and Malik Willis did not have a great game. And again, Malik Willis got to come out. They got to establish the run game. They got to keep that Army offense off the field. And they got to basically stop Army from running the football. That's all they're going to do all day long is run the football. Sometimes if the running game is working, they'll get you with a pass or a simple reverse play. But again, it's all about Liberty stopping that Army offense and that option offense, which is not easy to stop because you really have to actually be disciplined, read the field, and stay in your gaps and stay in your lanes. And if they can do that, Liberty can be fine in this game. But the offense has to show up. Malik Willis has to show up. They got very good skill players on the offensive side of the ball, but their defense have to show up against this Army offense and this option offense.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. If you look at this thing too, the Knights are destroying teams in time possession battles, even more than usual, leading the nation by holding the ball for close to 37 minutes. And you play in a 60-minute game, and you hold the ball 37 minutes, the other team's defense is going to get tired.
Yep.
That's something Hugh Freeze is going to have to stop. They're going to have to put like 8 or 9 men in the box, force Army to throw the ball to win this ball game. So, but if you look at it too, experienced quarterback Malik Willis is red hot on the NFL scouting circuit. Hugh Freeze knows how to coach up and attacks. Is fizzled last week in an ugly 42-14 home loss to Louisiana. Liberty has been able to beat UMass, North Texas, and about it over the second half of the season. They still have a turnover problem. If they sort that turnover problem, you want to give Army short field because that's how Army really destroys people on the turnover. We give them for short field thing. So, what do we see Malik Willis come out there and have a better game that he knows how to have? Because he's played in big games over his career, like beating Syracuse up in the Carrier Dome, taking NC State down, really to a big, close game than where everybody thought. But a Hugh Freeze, like I said, knows how to keep the attack up. So do we see Liberty open it up? And if they can open it up, I think they should have a thing. But if you look at this too, Army played Wake Forest early in the year, and Wake Forest let them score 56 points, but they scored 70 on passing plays. Do we just see Liberty bending, throw enough run in there, but then air it out and bomb away?
Yeah,
just play run and shoot.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Malik Willis is a dynamic player, so he's going to be a part of that running game as well. I can see them actually being balanced in this game. Wake Forest beat them on just throwing the ball, basically throwing the ball around the field. It was just like a 7-on-7 out there. That's just all it was for Wake Forest. But I feel like Malik Willis, they have to be more balanced. They have to be more balanced out to beat Army. And by them giving up 56 points, you can pop this defense. You can score on this defense. You just got to make the right reads. You just can't turn the ball over. You just got to be Malik Willis. Just got to be smart. And this game will all be on Malik Willis. He's got to have a strong game. He's going to be a part of that run game as well. You have to balance it out because when Army has the ball, they know how to keep the ball in their possession. They know how to control time of possession. They can't put points on the board. And how you do that is by running the football and keeping them off the field and controlling the clock. And that's how Liberty has to play this game out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and answer this question. Do you see Matt Nagy coaching college football at some point? Well, Mike, to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if colleges want to have him. If he can't do what he's supposed to do up in pro, or you think he can do it in college? I mean, it's a lot more dynamic than pro because you got to go out and recruit. We don't know how good a recruiter he is. I mean, he might have a pro pedigree and stuff like that, but he's not well known because what he's doing in Chicago, and his offense is not looking pretty straight. I mean, if I see him coaching, at probably a Division II level, not a really serious high power. He could go to a level mid, FBS team. Might want him to give him a shot, but I don't see him going to a big time program. Yeah, but that's a good question there, Mike. I know your thought behind that. You Chicago Bear, fan and stuff like that, trying to get him out of Chicago. I see him if he does coach. He probably coaches at like a Division II level, maybe a lower mid Division I level. But I don't see him like into an ACC school or to. This guy says send Nagy to a Pee Wee league. Damn it. Yeah, I don't even see him coaching the Pee Wee league. I don't know if he can win there.
No, you can't. You can't come out.
If you can't control a man, if you can't control a grown man in NFL, and how you gonna expect to control kids?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good question there, Mike. I hope we answered your question on that one. So, yeah, all these military schools and stuff like that. So we're gonna leave Army. Army and Navy plays next week. So, that's going to be a good game for the, bragging rights between the Army and Navy people.
Yep. That's always a good game right there. That's always great.
So Navy will go into Temple at Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. at 12 o'clock Eastern time, ESPNU. Navy records 2-8, Temple records 3-8. So no team is actually going bowling in this ball game if they win. So the midshipmen, they're running option. They've been running this option since Paul Johnson was there. Now Tago, well, I can't pronounce his name, but the Hawaiian names are kind of hard to pronounce. But if you look at him, he was on the Paul Johnson. He kept this thing going. They had him a down year this year. The Naval Academy is real hard. Army and Naval Academies or Air Force Academies are real hard to recruit because you got to get special letters to get in by your congressman and stuff like that. And they still have to do that with football. And not real actual football recruits. It's just, people that play football actually get, an academic ride in the Naval Academy. So they have to do what their talent is. And that's why the option works for these academies because that's the type of players they have. The running game hasn't been dominant this year, but they did have 345 yards in a 38-35 battle with 300 mark. A stunning win at Tulsa 3 weeks ago. Temple doesn't score. So this is going to be a battle of tradition of trenches and who's going to have time possession. If Navy owns the time possession, Navy comes out with the win. If Temple can own the time, if Temple can produce a offensive tag, they could try to spill forward. But they're playing in Lincoln Financial Field. This is not going to be a battery throwing like the Eagles fans. Who likes to bring batteries in there and throws at people. But even though the Navy does play in that financial stadium, when the Army Navy game is, so midshipmen is not like a Georgia defense. Not going to put pressure all over the place. But can the Naval Academy go into the financial field and actually beat Temple?
Yeah, I mean it can happen if they control time of possession, if they can keep the ball out of Temple's hands, which is Temple. You shouldn't be threatened because Temple can't put points on the board. They can't score. So again, they have Navy has a better chance because they can control time of possession with that option offense, and it's hard to stop that. It's not easy to stop that option offense because you don't know who's the ball going to. You don't know if it's going to be in the belly of the fullback or the quarterback is going to take it. He's going to keep it or the running. You don't know. You gotta basically be disciplined and read the field when you're playing against option offenses. You got to basically stay in your gaps. If you're linebackers and linemen, you have to come up and be able to make plays. You're going to get a lot of opportunities to make plays. So, again, if Temple can come out and make those plays and be disciplined and give that offense a shot, Temple can come out and they definitely can win this game. But also, Navy can win this game if they wear that defense down and control time of possession, get those defensive linemen off their heels and make them and gash them out. I think Navy can win this game by controlling the clock and controlling the running game because that's all they did since that head coach got there. And it's hard to stop the option. I'm telling you that it's not easy to stop that. You think just because you run all day, these guys are in shape. They're ready for that. And the offensive line, that means when you're trusting your run game like that, you trust in your offensive line as well to block somebody as well. So again, I think Navy has a good chance of coming away with this win by controlling the clock and keeping that Temple offense off that field.
Yeah, and it's Tagovailoa. I think I pronounced that right. That's the Navy Academy's coach. And when you talk about stopping the option, I ran the option in high school, and the best way to stop the option is you take your defensive end, you take your outside linebacker, inside outside linebacker on one side, your defense, and your in middle linebacker on the other side. And what you do is you invert it. You take your defensive end, tell them you take the quarterback, you take the linebacker, you're taking the running back. If you take both of those out, you stop the option because they have nobody else. But then you got to be acceptable on the backside because the option reverse. If you start pounding that front side, the option reverse comes back and beats you on the back end. So you got to be disciplined on your back end. So what teams really want to do is you take your middle linebacker, tell him, hey, you go inside when you get it. You take on the opposite end, you want to take your middle linebacker, go after the quarterback and take you out defensive end, go after the running back on the backside. If you take those out, then you got it. But then you got another thing in the concept too. You got to watch out for is the option option reverse when they put a wide receiver come right between the running back and the quarterback, and he pitches the ball, and the wide receiver takes the ball and go out through the back door. So you got to be disciplined. You got a lot of eye candy. You got a lot of things you can do out of. And also, Navy can do too is they get enough running attack, and they just stop these little beam bomb passes right over top of your linebackers because they're crashing on the run. So that's how you get the big passing plays out of that. So it's a lot of concepts you can do with options. You got the wishbone type look. You got the flex bone look. You got the receiver you can bring in motion and then run between the running back and the quarterback. And then sometimes you can do that and you have the, pitch go all the way back to the running back. The wide receiver don't even get the ball. They look like he got the ball, but it goes right through his hands to the running back. So, it's a lot of maneuvers you can do out of that. So, the Naval Academy you got to watch out for these guys. I think they can pull this win out here in this ball game. It's not really a big, huge home field advantage for Temple.
Not really.
Navy's favored by 12.5. Over and under is 43. I can see that. I think Navy wins 28-17.
Yeah, I got Navy winning. I got Navy winning 20-17. I'm take Navy 20-17.
Yeah. So, well, we're gonna take a break right quick here. We're gonna play. We got to pay the bills somehow, so we got to put the commercials on. So, you're listening to the All Sports All Plays Network College Breakdown. My name is Ray, and Coach, we'll be right back.
This is the Fonx D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at fonxdnetwork.com.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays Network, the College Breakdown Show. I'm Ray and Coach Dante with you here. We just did the first half of our thing, and now we're going to move into the second half, which we have to talk about, a team that really has been a trash dump team. It's like they're like the Vanderbilt of the SEC and the ACC. We're going to talk about the Duke and Miami game here. You gotta give some credit for the Duke fans who sticks around with their team. Not very many, because if you look at the stadium, it's never full. It's like they don't show the Duke side, so they always show the visiting side and stuff like that. So we don't know how it's like all spread out. They say they have about 24,000 people there. Sometimes they don't look about like 5,000 people showing up where they spread out in the stadium. Miami comes in at 6-5. Duke comes in 3-8. Duke is not going bowling once again. Miami is eligible for bowl. What do we see? Do we see the Hurricanes actually see a hurricane coming through here against Duke?
Yes. 'Cause I know the quarterback. That played for Miami. He out here where I stay at, from Houston, Texas. He was a dominant quarterback at the high school level. I don't know if he still plays for them, because I don't know if he got hurt. But Derek King was an explosive quarterback for them. Run. He can throw the ball. He was a big part of their running game, and he just not have been good this year. He was coming in this year, the talk of the Heisman race. He was a part of the Heisman, one of the Heisman race people that was supposed to have a breakout season. He was at Houston, and they switched him from receiver, from special teamers to the quarterback. That's where he really flowed at, and it's been disappointing for the Miami Hurricanes. I think they started off a top what it was, a top 20 team, top 15 type team
Yeah,
for Miami.
they started at 21, I think.
Yeah, before they got blown out by Alabama, but I can still see Miami winning this football game, man. To order to not have no fans, no in the attendance for Duke, that's just frustrating. That's just bad. You're just a bad organization. You're just a bad college football team. And I see Miami winning this game in a cruise fashion, probably in a blowout fashion, winning this game. I got Miami Hurricanes winning this game.
Yeah, I look at it, this game. This game is at 12:30. This at Wallace Wade Stadium. Is on ESPN3. Miami comes in 6-5. Duke comes in 3-8. Like I said, Derek King is out due to shoulder injuries. He's out for the season. He had operation on his shoulder. I think he's just going to get ready for the combine and stuff like that. I mean, that's why he did come back for one more year to try to put Miami back on the map and win the ACC championship, but it didn't work out this way. He got injured. You know, feel sorry for the guy. You know, we don't expect injuries from people on teams and stuff like that. We want them to be healthy as they can through football season. But the nature of the beast, you get a lot of injuries during football season. So the Duke defense is second worst in college football, giving up 517 yards per game. Virginia, Wake Forest, Pitt, Virginia Tech, Louisville all came up with 500 more yards against Wake Forest and Louisville were coming off close to 700. And Pitt easily came up with 600 against Duke's defense. There's not enough pressure in the backfield for pass defense for the Blue Devils. That's going to be the problem right there too. If you don't get pressure on Van Dyke,
yep,
you know he's gonna pick you apart. So for that reason, there, the only thing that's going for Duke is Morant, the running back for Duke, is having a great year. That's going to be a positive side if he can get the running game going. Then Holberg can come up and play action pass and stuff like that. But my question is this the last run for David Cutcliffe at Duke? He's been there for 14 years. He had the first 5 years were pretty good, but he's been mediocre here the last few years. Is it time for him to actually part ways and try to bring another coach in?
I agree. Yeah, I think it's time for to blow this team up. I mean, you're that bad all these years, and you come in, you still can't get the job done. I think it's time to make a change in the program. I think it's time to move on. Giving up 500 yards, pretty much in every damn game. You're not stopping anybody. You can't get pressure, and that's the worst thing you can do. You can't get pressure on no quarterback. Any quarterback on their offensive line can gas you up if you cannot get pressure. You have to be able to apply pressure on any type of quarterback. No matter who it is, you have to be able to apply pressure. You have to be able to get off the field. So, again, I mean, if your defense giving up like that, giving up points like that, what is the offense doing? What is this offense doing? This offense must not doing no better for this defense to consistently get on the field. So that means the offense must not even try contributing for this defense having to get back on the field to give up 500 yards each ball game. So yeah, I think it's the end of the line for him. I think you definitely consider moving on from him.
I mean, if you look at it this way, Duke hasn't won an ACC game yet this year. All the 3 wins have come from non-conference teams. And then what gets me is the Duke fans. They talk junk to Carolina fans, but their team is no good.
Yeah, they can't even win an ACC ball game. They can't even win a conference ball game.
So I mean, I have Miami winning this game. I've been to a Duke and Miami game before when they had Vinny Testaverde there when Duke got slaughtered with Jimmy Johnson at the head coach, and dude
Yo.
just got slaughtered. If I think the final score was like 65-17 or something like that in that ball game. So Wallace Wade Stadium is like a high school stadium.
Okay.
So
yeah, I got Miami winning this game. I think I gotta win it 20. I gotta win it 27-10. 27-13.
yeah, so that's pretty sad, on that. So who you got winning the Miami, Ohio at Kent State game?
You said the Miami, Ohio, and Kansas State.
Yep.
I'm gonna take Kansas State to win this ball game. Kansas State.
No, Kent State. Sorry.
Kent State. Kent State. I'm gonna go with Ken. I'm gonna take Kent State. I'm gonna take Kent State to win this game. In a pretty close game. I'm gonna take them to win this game in a pretty close game. I think Kent State. I think they're a pretty solid team. So I got Kent State win this game in a pretty tough ball game. I want Kent State. I got Kent State.
Okay, how about Akron and Toledo?
I'm gonna take Toledo.
Yeah, Akron has been downplayed all season long and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, Louisiana Tech and Rice.
Louisiana Tech. Rice stink.
Okay, this game we're gonna be talking about here is University of Texas at San Antonio versus North Texas. Here, this game is at 2:00. It's at a Poggi Stadium in Denton, Texas. ESPN Plus is carrying this game. UTSA comes in 11-0. North Texas coming 5-6. If North Texas win, they come bowl eligible. So, and then plus they're playing a ranked UTSA team. So, can North Texas push the pressure on UTSA to come bowl eligible this year?
I think they could. I think they can apply pressure on them, but I think UTSA would get the win. I think they would get the win. They will figure it out. They also beat some good Power 5 schools as well. They beat Illinois, who play in a tough conference in the Big Ten. They beat TCU, who plays in the Big 12. And that don't mean TCU is bad, even though I think they won 2 games this year. Probably they won 2 or 3 games this year. But you play in a tough conference. So those are Power 5 schools that they have beaten. So I got UTFA winning this game, but I do think North Texas can kind of give them a fight a little bit. Now, say UTFA had to come back last week to win a ball game. They had to come back, and it shows they can take a punch in the mouth and be able to respond and not lay down. So again, I got them winning this game. I don't think North Texas will go bowling this year. I think UTFA will finish out with a strong season, and I think they will beat them.
Yeah, I mean, there's only like 3 undefeated teams left in college football. UTSA is doing something right. They had the biggest challenge against UAB last week. They won 34-31. The passing game picked up the slack in that one. North Texas is on the roll with 4 straight wins, but overall the passing game isn't efficient enough. The defense hasn't quite been able to hold up against a decent attack. UTSA is great on holding up when needed against a big offense. It survived against Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers. It held up against Illinois. Not great offense, but the Big Ten. And it has been able to find ways to win. They don't beat themselves. That's the next thing. North Texas is going to have to force turnovers. The Roadrunners are playing the winner of the Western Kentucky Marshall game in the Conference USA Championship. Staying healthy is the most important part. So it has been an impressive turnaround for the Mean Green. Just when it looks like was lost with a 1-6 record, they have won 4 straight. They're 5-6 now. They're trying to come bowl eligible. So to me, I think UTSA is going to have a good game here. UTSA is favored by 10 points. I I think the score is going to be UTSA 37, North Texas 20. Myself.
Yep. I got UTFA winning this game. I got to win 30. I got to win 30 to 20. 30 to 20. I'm gonna go 30 to 20. 21.
Yeah. So let me see this over here. Trying to keep all my notes straight.
Nah, you good?
All right, we're gonna go here. We like to pick the games in between some of our picks that we're doing deeply here on the College Sports Network. That's how I run the show a little bit,
Okay.
so we get all the picks of all the teams in, and then I'll tally up, and then next week I'll put up the winner of between me and you. So,
all right, that's a bet. Gotcha.
So, Charlotte at Old Dominion.
I'm gonna take Old Dominion.
You know, something about Old Dominion, you know, I always make comments about stuff like that. Old Dominion plays in Hampton Roads area in Norfolk, Virginia, down the Hampton Boulevard. To get to the stadium, you got to have a police escort because they're in a rough section of the neighborhood. The McDonald's outside of there, if you stop there, you might get shot. You know, that's just the finality of it. Duke football needs Coach K to come out of retirement. Coach K don't know nothing about no football. He don't even go to football games. He don't need.
No.
He don't need
go to football game.
No, he don't need support none of the other athletic teams there. Nope. He ain't like Roy Williams. Roy Williams, like when he played at North Carolina, he always goes to like the football games, baseball games, and stuff like that to support the other teams. This guy don't even go to none of the other teams that do. He just shows up for basketball season and then leaves.
They that bad?
Yeah, I mean, Duke basketball is good. I mean, but he's retiring.
Duke basketball good. That's probably the only thing in that that's good for them.
Well, they got a women's soccer team right now for the first time in a long time going to the Final Four. So, who's worse, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, or Duke? Duke's worse.
Duke way worse.
Duke's like the Bad News Bears. He said, "Dan, that's messed up." I said, "Yeah."
Yeah, Duke worse.
Yeah,
Duke way worse.
Texas State and Arkansas State.
I'm gonna take Texas State.
Troy and Georgia State.
I'm gonna go with Georgia State.
Yeah, they're a better team than that. So, Appalachian State and Georgia Southern is one of the games that we're going to talk about here. This game is at 2:30 Eastern Time. It's at Kidd Brewer Stadium in Boone, North Carolina, ESPN Plus. Appalachian State comes in 9-2. Georgia Southern comes in 3-8 in this ball game. If Appalachian State doesn't need anything about this game, it doesn't matter in terms of bowl games. But it's not about the Sun Belt title. It's always in the championship week against Louisiana.
Yeah,
and it's not like this is a big rivalry game. Of course, 10-win regular season would be nice. Appalachian State is one of those teams that got on the map by beating Michigan.
Yep.
So, but I always know about this team because I'm from the state of North Carolina. This is up in the mountain area of North Carolina, Boone, North Carolina. If you've never been, it's pretty nice. It's got Grandfather Mountain, Tweetsie Railroad. It's like a big Western type train event. You go, it's a Western show. Somebody tried to hijack the train, take the money and stuff like that. It's a pretty good show. The Grandfather Mountain, if you ever want to go, it's got a swinging bridge that's 2,600 feet above ground, and you can see the bears below.
Yeah,
it gives you an overview of the park. So it's a very nice area up there. It's cold at the time of year because of the mountain, high elevation. This could be an effect on that. The Mountaineers defense looked good. They beat Coastal Carolina for the Coastal Carolina's first loss in a while. But then again, on that game, the Coastal Carolina is number 1 at Boone, North Carolina. So they're like 0-6 now. So what do we see here? We see Georgia Southern come up here and try to put a spanking on Appalachian State because it's kind of hard to play up in Boone, though?
I see Appalachian State winning this game. I see them winning this game. I love their program, man. They've been on the map since they beat Michigan, since they upset Michigan. And Michigan's supposed to have the best team that year. I remember that. They supposed to have the best team. They had probably the best running back in Hart. And Appalachian State just went up in there and outplayed them. And ever since that loss that season, that was the year that everybody was losing. Everybody was losing. I think that was the year you had two lost teams in the national championship. That's when you had LSU. Yeah, LSU in the national championship. And someone, I forgot who, Ohio State. Ohio State was in the national championship that year. So in LSU won the national championship with two losses. So again, ever since that year, Michigan was not the same team anymore. They lost to Oregon. They were blown out by Oregon the very next week. And I love this program. And I got them winning this football game. I think they're gonna put a spanking on them guys, man. So I got this team, man. I got Appalachian State. I love them ever since that year that they beat Michigan, man. That still holds a special place, man, in college football. And you still look at that to this day, that game to this day, and you think about that game right there when that day that they blocked that field goal and got up on the map. And they always been tough ever since then.
Yeah. Well, Georgia, one thing about Georgia Southern is holding pattern until the new head coach, Clay Hilton, can take over. Until then, the O has proved he can't get past 17 points. It's only did that once over the last 5 years. So the new head coach will be next year will be Clay Hilton, the USC head coach. Is that you think Georgia Southern made the right call to hiring Clay Hilton? I mean, the way he did USC, I mean, it can't be no worse than what they're doing now.
You can't be no worse than what you're doing now. Even though you may not think it's a good call, and you're gonna look at his track record or what he did at USC, which is absolutely nothing. USC, they suck. USC is suck. In that tradition right there, it's a shame how much they blown out the man. You give up 60 points to UCLA, and the culture, the students. I mean, in a flat out embarrassment. And Jonathan was talking about that game on his video, how much it's embarrassing in USC. But right now it can't get any worse. You might as well. You might as well. He did a terrible job at USC. You might as well. What else could go wrong? So you might as well.
Yeah, if you look at this thing too, if you look at this game here, where we made the comment that they can't get past 17 points. Appalachian State could put 17 points up right in the first quarter, and you'd be behind the ball there. So, this is also a senior day for the Appalachian State team. They're gonna pull out no stops. They want to get in that championship game at the Sun Belt and try to beat Louisiana and try to get a better bowl game, aspect of that ratio. I think this is going to be a butt whooping myself.
Yeah.
Some people are predicting 38-13. Appalachian State's favorite by 20.5 points, 24.5 points, 55 and over. It's the over and under. So I think right now, I got Appalachian State winning big in this ball game myself.
Yeah, I got them putting a nice little spanking on them. Don't put a nice little spanking on them.
Let's see. All right, we're gonna get to this one here. Wyoming versus Hawaii. I was stationed out in Hawaii for 4 years at Pearl Harbor. I've been to a lot of Hawaii football games my 4 years there because tickets are cheap. Like military, all we had to do is show ID card. We actually get free tickets to go to the game. We had to pay no tickets. Only time we had to pay tickets when the actual bowl game came there, the Hawaiian Bowl. That's the only time we had to pay for football tickets, but they just give us tickets for free. And it's actually a walk down the street to Aloha Stadium. It used to be Aloha Stadium at the time. And usually it's just a walk down the street. It'd take you about 25 minutes walk from the base to the street down. Or you can take a bus. It takes you about 5 to 10 minutes for the bus to get down there too. But this game is at John. This is in Laramie, Wyoming. So Hawaii's got to go all the way to Wyoming here for this ball game. Wyoming is 6-5. If Hawaii wins, they come bowl eligible at a 5-7 record. They win this game, they come bowl eligible. So what do we take from Hawaii and this Wyoming team?
I like Wyoming in this game. The tradition of Josh Allen from Wyoming, and I think Wyoming is a tough team to play, especially at their home stadium. A good college program. Pretty tough team to go in to their field and try to beat. So I'm taking Wyoming in this game. I think it's going to be a 10-point game by Wyoming. I think they're tough. Their defense is kind of tough to play against. Anytime you go on that field, you have to travel all the way to Wyoming. They're a pretty competitive football team. So I'm going to take Wyoming in this game to beat Hawaii.
Yeah, let me see here. Let's see the time. Let's see here. I'd like to bring up the. All right, yeah, Wyoming is 3 hours ahead of Hawaii time.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Yeah, they are 3 hours ahead because Hawaii right now it's 8. If you look at it, it's 8:51 a.m. Saturday morning in Wyoming. It's 5:51 a.m. Saturday in Hawaii.
Okay.
Right now I'm 5 hours ahead of Hawaii. So yeah,
Right.
it's about 5:51 there. So, the Hawaii puts a lot of travel distance when they play football games. Let me see how far they had to travel. They had to travel 3,205 miles from Hawaii to Wyoming.
Dang.
For this game. Yeah, if you look at it, there's an island out in the Pacific Ocean. They have to fly across the Pacific Ocean into Wyoming. Even though Wyoming is 1, 2, 3, 4 states from California, they still had to fly a long ways, 3,205 miles. The freaking fire miles for these guys are. I hope everybody on the team gets freaking fire miles because they'll be getting free tickets left and right. All this way they travel every time. They got one of the highest expensive travel rates in college football that they have to fly to, and other teams have to fly into Hawaii too.
Yeah.
Also, it's going to be in the low 40s there. It's not going to be in the 80s like it is in Honolulu.
Yeah.
So the cold has got a thing. The Rainbow Warriors team is tough enough to get past the weather, but is it going to struggle against the Wyoming running game? The running tag for Hawaii is not that great. It's not dynamic wise, but Wyoming's defense is number 1 in the Mountain West and 4th in the nation in pass defense.
Yeah.
So Hawaii likes to throw the ball. So it's going to be a tradition of this thing. It's going to be really tough there.
Yep.
But I think the Rainbow Warriors could come in there and win by a field goal. I think it's going to be 23-20 Hawaii. Wyoming is favored by 10.5 in this ball game, so I'm picking Hawaii in this one.
Yep. I'm gonna take Wyoming to win this game by 6 points.
Well, we're getting to this point of this show here. What stadium does Nick Saban has a losing record in?
Well, what stadium he has a losing record in? If I had to guess, is it A&M?
Nope. Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama.
Auburn. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this game is at 3:30. It's on CBS at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. Alabama's 10-1. Auburn 6-5. You can throw the records out in this ball game. Usually, this rivalry game takes precedent, and you can throw a lot of stuff at it. This rivalry had a unique thing when Alabama kicked that 50-yard field goal and missed it, and the dude ran it back for a touchdown to win the game.
That was the national championship year. Yep.
So, What do we see in this ball game? Since we have a Auburn team that is 6-5, Bo Nix, if he's chugging the ball around, stuff like that. So, what do we see here? Do we see an upset coming like the Texas A&M defense did too, and then they didn't do enough just against Mississippi State, and then they lost to South Carolina. So Alabama lost to Texas A&M. So how do we see? Do we see a blowout in this game, or are we going to see them playing a rivalry game, and it's going to take Nick Saban some trickery to win this ball game?
Actually, yesterday on the morning show, because every week I always pick at least 2 upset picks. I've been right on 3 weeks in a row. I picked Utah to beat Oregon, and that boy that they beat them down last week. And I picked Oklahoma to lose against Baylor. They lost against Baylor. And I had another team the week before. I had North Carolina beat Wake Forest, I believe, and North Carolina beat them. So, in that aspect, I got 2 upsets today, and which is I said on the morning show. It's up in the morning. I got Auburn upsetting Alabama today. Even though it may not turn that way, I got Auburn upsetting Alabama. It's an Iron Bowl. It's always close. And the Alabama Crimson Tide has not really played well their last couple of games. They have not really played well. They struggled against LSU. They struggled to stop Arkansas. So I think this got all the potential to be a close game in Auburn, but it can also turn out to a blowout. But I'm gonna go on a limb and say Auburn upsets Alabama. They're gonna win it by kicking a game-winning field goal.
Yeah, I see some. I understand some of this thing, but Bryce Young against if you look at Alabama's been able to move the balls, however it wants to, but coming off 559 yards passing against Arkansas, Bryce Young and the lads are going to start bombing away early. If Auburn can hold up the first and second quarter and get to the halftime, and maybe the confidence in the third quarter, get to that fourth quarter, will the pressure be all on Alabama? Because Auburn really ain't got nothing to lose. This is a team. A dangerous team is a team that don't have nothing to lose. And this game right here, everybody's picking Alabama, so Auburn is playing with fool's goals here. If they stay all the way up, will the pressure be on Alabama and Nick Saban?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, Alabama, I wouldn't be shocked, man. Like I said again, I wouldn't be shocked if they come out and just beat them and blow them out. I wouldn't be shocked at all. But hey, I mean, this is the Iron Bowl. They always close. These games like this are always being competitive, and they know each other. So again, Alabama could turn this game around, and they could blow them out. That's fine. That's okay. But I will take Auburn for the upset pick of the weekend to knock Alabama out the college football playoff. But it also wouldn't shock me if Alabama come in and just blow this team out. It wouldn't shock me at all.
And if Auburn wins this game, it's gonna be a lot of toilet paper on trees. And then will we have the same situation where an Alabama fan showed back up and poisoned the tree? So whatever we have here, we're gonna have a lot of Charmin on trees today if Auburn wins. I hate to be that town and have to clean up all that mess.
Oh yeah, for real. They don't go through the road. They don't go through the roof. They might tie down the field goal post after this game.
It'd be kind of funny to see Bo Jackson show up for this game and then throw toilet paper on the trees like he does in the commercial.
Yeah.
With the Heisman Trophy. I bet you we'll see a lot of that Heisman Trophy commercial with Bo Jackson and the Auburn mascot throwing toilet papers in the trees.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alabama's favored by 19.5 in this game. There's some people say Alabama going to win 38-20. I think it's going to probably be a little bit closer because it's just the Iron Bowl. It could come down to a field goal. Who knows? But I have Alabama winning by a field goal.
Yeah, so. That's reasonable. That's understandable. Wouldn't be surprised if they blow him out. They blow Auburn out.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it too, and with Coach, the other coach Bennett on here, he knows. He said Young is very good at quarterback. I think he's going to be the next Heisman Trophy winner. If he don't win it this year, it'll probably be next year if because he's only a freshman. No, actually, I think he's a redshirt guy, so he might be eligible for the NFL draft
next year.
If he's a redshirt for sophomore.
Yeah. Oh, next year. So you think he might enter that draft next year?
He could enter this year. I think he's a redshirt because you only got to have 3 years out of high school. If you redshirt 1 year and then plays, so I guess because he might have been behind Jones. I don't know if he's a freshman this year. If he's a freshman, he's got to play 1 more year. If he's a redshirt freshman, then he has to play 1 more year, and then we could go to the NFL. I think he could be the next Heisman Trophy winner if he stays around.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that part, man. Definitely.
But I mean, with Alabama though, too, is you got to match up with that one speedster wide receiver they got there. He's been killing people.
Yeah.
They don't have a dominant.
You talking about Jameson? Which one? Which one? Talking about the Alabama receiver, right?
Yeah, Mitch starts with an M.
Yeah, from Ohio State. He came from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he's got to have to, if they can have somebody stay with him and stuff like that. So, they're just showing the replay on the field goal return back for a touchdown. So, but yeah, so this Damon Hernandez had a question: Who has a better chance of getting another coaching job, Gruden, Garrett, or Nagy once he gets his ball blank out of Chicago? I think Gruden has a better shot getting another head coaching job. If he wants a head coach job, I don't think he'll go stoop down to a college level job. So we might not even see him back because he's got. I don't think anybody's going to touch him in the NFL. He's got a lawsuit going against the NFL right now for going into his email account and blasting him out like that. But I mean, it's what it is for Gruden. He made his own bed. He's got to lie in it. He also said, question, why can't Hawaii get an NFL team? I mean, they have a football team. That's a good question, too. They want to put a football team in London, but you got to travel a long ways from London back to the States. And same thing with Hawaii. I think Hawaii is a better destination because when the Pro Bowl was there, they did have a sellout crowd, and you had people from different. It was a good vacation days for people to come out to go to the Pro Bowl and vacate. Good climate. So that's a good question. I don't know. I think Hawaii could be suitable for a team. You don't want to put a team over some sort of like overseas, even though Hawaii is part of the United States. So that's a good question there.
Yep.
Well, we're gonna go from the Iron Bowl to the Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah, the Oregon and Oregon State, the Battle of the Civil War. That's what they call it up there. We know Oregon will come in pissed off because they lost to Utah last week in an embarrassing moment. But this game is in the Ogden Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. Oregon comes in at 9-2. Oregon State comes in 7-4. Oregon did beat the only team to beat Ohio State this year. Was in early this season. Really nothing to really play for except for bragging rights right now because both teams are bowl eligible. Oregon wants to get a better bowl. If they need to win this game to try to get a better bowl. Oregon State's trying to move up in a little bit of a tier of another bowl. So coming out of Salt Lake, is Oregon going to be mad and going to take it out on Oregon State?
Yeah, I think Oregon is going to – this is the week that Oregon is going to win. I got the Oregon coming out. I got Oregon Ducks coming out like raging bulls. I think they're going to put it – I think they're going to put an ass whooping on Oregon State after the frustrating beatdown that they took against Utah in Salt Lake City. I think they're going to come out strong, and I think they're going to get one of those better ball games. I got Oregon winning this game 33-14. I think it's going to be a massacre. that after the humiliating whooping that they took in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, and an interesting note about this game is Oregon State is 1-4 on the road with the lone victory that came against USC. It's not that the location of the field should matter that much, but Oregon will be energized after what happened last week. That's a good key point there. The Beavers has pulled off victories against Washington State, was able to throw just fine to win. Oregon State might be able to be all about the time of possession, owning the tempo, but Oregon is just as good as converting third downs. So, I mean, that's going to be a battle to traditions here. It's going to be a Civil War battle. I think the score could be closer than what we expected. It's just that type of environment. These two teams have played pretty good against each other. Oregon is only favored by 6.5 in this ball game. Some people say Oregon is going to win 34-24 over Oregon State. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that. I think it could be a 34-31 game.
Yeah, it can be closer, but yeah, it can definitely be closer because these two teams know each other and stuff. The only reason I got the score like that because I mean Oregon is upset, and if they didn't lose that game last week, they beat Utah. You're probably talking about them in the playoffs, in the college football playoff scenario where you have to win the your Pac-12 conference if you beat Oregon State this weekend. Now that they took that punch in the mouth and it was embarrassing, the game wasn't even close from start to finish. I think they're going to leave it out there on that field today, and you can see Oregon come out a different team, come out upset, immediately punch them in the mouth, and just come out and put an ass whooping on them. But it wouldn't shock me if it'd be close because Oregon State is a pretty good football team as well. They're a pretty good football team as well, and they know each other. They know each other. They're rivalry school, so it wouldn't shock if it's a close game.
Yeah. And then so we both got Oregon winning this one. Florida International and Southern Miss. Who you have winning this ball game?
I got Florida International.
Yeah. Ole Miss is just haven't done anything since Larry Fedora left. So I mean it's just been battling there. UMass and New Mexico State.
New Mexico State. I'm gonna tell you, New Mexico State.
Yeah, UMass has won some games this year, but they're going up against the Lobos and New Mexico State. I got New Mexico State winning that ball game too. How about the Penn State and number 12 Michigan State? How are we looking at this game?
I was looking at this game as an upset pick. I was looking at this game as taking Penn State to go in to win this game against Michigan State, but I'm gonna take Michigan State. I think that running back for Michigan State, that guy is a very good running back. He knows how to run the football. He flat out knows how to run the football. They can control time of possession. The quarterback could be a game manager if that running game is going crazy. I like Michigan State in this game. I wanted to pick Penn State to upset them this week, so I said I'm gonna go to another game that I think it would probably be better. So I'm gonna take Michigan State in this game. That running back is really, really good for Michigan State.
Yeah, Anton Walker is good. He came out of Wake Forest, transferred up. Mel Tucker snapped him up out of the transfer pool. I think it was a good fit for them. To that Ohio State, I think he was leading in the Heisman race. I think that Ohio State game really backed him down a little bit on that Heisman race front. But Penn State, on the other hand, Franklin gets a 10-year extension at Penn State, which is good to lock him up because there was a lot of rumors that he was going to go to LSU, he was going to go to USC, he was going to go to all these openings, and I think locking them in was pretty good and tried to scare some of that talent that they got coming in next year for that. So I look at that as an aspect as another way of trying to make Beaver Stadium and making this team come out. I think Franklin could make this team a playoff contender in the next year or year and a half. So on top of that, so I think this could be. I mean, Penn State is going into Michigan State. in Lansing for this ball game, number 11 team.
Yep.
I think Penn State could pull an upset here,
Yep.
just because I think they're starting to get healthy on the defensive end side again, and they had that that first stint against them, against Illinois and stuff like that. So I think the defense is capable to stop Walker. So and then Clifford gets going again like he did 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a close game. What everybody really thought about in this.
Yeah, it's going to be a very close game, man. I think this game is going to be very close. So, I wanted to pick Penn State too to win this game. I wanted to pick Penn State. I'm going to take Michigan State in a close game, man. I'm going to take Michigan State 23-20. I'm going to take them 23-20.
All right, Western Kentucky and Marshall. Who do you have winning this ball game?
I got Marshall winning this game.
Yeah, as at Marshall, I got them too. I think Marshall's a special place to play since that a plane crash that killed all that Marshall team.
Yeah.
So I mean, people hold Marshall kind of a little bit in their hearts because of that. And then Wade Leftwich played when the years he were there. Getting helped up and moving down the field with a broken leg and them fighting.
Yeah. Now he's a great offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay. Now, so
Northwestern and Illinois.
Northwestern Illinois. It's a trash game, but we'll take Illinois. Take Illinois.
Yeah, it's up in Champaign. I got Illinois winning that. Running game's too powerful for them to hell. Yep. Indiana and Purdue. Battle of the Indiana.
I got Purdue.
Yeah, I think everybody, Indiana had that one great year last year.
One great year. That was with that running back Penix when he got hurt, I believe. Yeah.
And I think that, if you look at it too, the pandemic helped them out because there were no fans in stadiums and stuff like that. When fans came back, now we seem to Indiana going back to the regular Indiana football team.
They went back to the old Indiana. Yep.
All right, this is the Battle of Tennessee. Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Who do you have?
Tennessee is just a bad football team. Tennessee is just a bad football team, man. What is game? What is game played at? Where is this game?
Knoxville.
Played at? Knoxville. It played in Knoxville.
Yeah, Union Stadium.
I'm gonna go with Tennessee. They have to win this game. I'm taking. Tennessee.
I mean, Tennessee is the only team to put up 20 points against Georgia.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Tennessee
so far. So I mean, Tennessee and Hendon Booker, quarterback out of Virginia Tech. I know Virginia Tech really should have kept him. Push pressure on him to keep him, but he left there, went to Tennessee. Him and Milton, the quarterback that used to be at Michigan, was battling it out, and Hendon Booker took it over midway through the season. And Milton hasn't had a chance to get back on the field for a couple of times and stuff like that. So I think you see Milton kids on the field. I think Hendon Booker is going to have this game well out of hand by the time halftime comes around. So Milton probably get a chance to play the third or fourth quarter. So
I'm gonna go. I got Tennessee in this game. We got Tennessee.
Darren said we are not trash, sir. Texas is. LOL. He's a Tennessee fan.
We I know we are trash. Y'all not. Tennessee is not that good. Come on now.
Okay, Virginia Tech and Virginia.
Virginia Tech. You said Virginia Tech and Virginia.
Yep.
I'm going to take Virginia Tech. I'm going to take Virginia Tech in this game. I have Virginia Tech winning this game.
Yeah, I'm indecisive because if Brandon Armstrong comes back for Virginia at quarterback, he was injured the last 2 games. If he comes back, I think it gives the edge to Virginia. They're playing in Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. I think Virginia's going to pull this victory out here.
All right.
Wisconsin, we're going to talk about that Wisconsin-Minnesota game real quick here.
Let's do it.
This game is played at 4 Eastern time. It's at Huntington Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's on Fox. Wisconsin's 8-3, Minnesota 7-4 in this ball game. Minnesota welcomes Wisconsin's run defense. That's the key. Wisconsin's got a hell of a defense.
Yep.
It's right up there with Georgia in the run defense category. Some people say Wisconsin's a little bit better than Georgia on the run defense. But their offense, Wisconsin's offense is not a Georgia type offense. It's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's mediocre.
Yeah.
Offense.
Basically average offense. Yep.
Minnesota Vikings, run defense. There might have been issues overall against Nebraska last week, more than on that moment. But no one is doing much against the number one run defense in the nation, that allowing just 2 yards per carry. Army ran 179 yards against this bunch. Nebraska ran 101, and Michigan came up with 112. That's it for the 100-yard games so far this year for Wisconsin. Does Minnesota have a chance to run it over 100 yards in this ball game?
I think they have a chance to run it over 100 yards. Minnesota is one of my upset picks that I picked to beat Wisconsin. This was one of my upset picks. So I got Minnesota winning this game. I think they can run just right there by 100 yards or between 110 yards. I think they can definitely do it. They can definitely do it. They will have their defense will have a lot of opportunities to stop Wisconsin, because Wisconsin is an average offensive team. They don't put points on the board as much. Their defense is very good, though. Wisconsin defense is very fucking good. But I'm going to take Minnesota to win this game at home for the upset over number 14, Wisconsin.
Yeah, and the secondary had a nightmare of time with Nebraska's big receiver and a tight end, Austin Allen, allowing 351 yards passing last week. Even with that, Wisconsin is still the number one in the Big Ten in pass defense, number 2 in the nation overall, just behind Georgia. The Badgers have been patient, dominant. If Wisconsin wants to win this ball game today, they're going to have to get some turnovers and score off these turnovers. So the Badger running back, Brendan Allen, might be the hottest back in the Big Ten, but the team on paper thing of position, he is taking a whole lot of big shots over his run of 100 yards again. And Graham Mazur might be throwing the ball better, but it's going to be one thing. They're going to have to get this passing game attack going. He's going to have the quarterback, Graham Mazur, is going to be the key for Wisconsin in this ball game for them to win. But you're playing outside in the cold air in Minnesota. So, but Wisconsin's also cold, but I think sometimes not as cold as Minnesota, because Minnesota's near the lakes and stuff like that. So, but I think Wisconsin will go up and win. I think they'll win 28-21 in the final score.
I got Minnesota winning this game. I got Minnesota winning this game 27-24.
So it should be something pretty good here. Tulsa and SMU. Who do you have winning?
SMU. I'm gonna pick SMU.
Yeah, I think SMU is better than that. University of Louisiana Monroe at Louisiana.
I'm gonna go with Louisiana.
Yeah, it could be Bills Napier's last year at Louisiana. He could end up on the sideline as the Gators head coach.
Yep.
So, okay, Arizona versus Arizona. It's a 4:00 Eastern game. It's at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. The Pac-12 Network. Arizona 7-4. Arizona State 7-4. Arizona's 1-10. Herb Edwards got this team rolling a little bit here on this thing. So, what do you see out of this ball game between the two Arizona schools?
I see Arizona State with a flat-out beatdown.
Yeah, you stole my sentiment, right? Arizona might not have the guys, and it hammers by injuries and lack of depth. Is losing defense coordinator Don Brown to UMass head coaching gig. That's gonna be a hurt right there for That's gonna be really a hurt for there. The results aren't there, but the team will push for all 4 quarters. Arizona State has been ultra inconsistent. Herm Edwards has said that over and over, that they've been inconsistent, a lot of turnovers. But Arizona, one thing about Arizona State don't have to worry about. Arizona does not take the ball away often. The team is dead last in college football in turnover margin, just 6 takeaways. Arizona can maintain a decent offensive balance and control the game. I think Herm Edwards will control this game 70-7, as long as Arizona doesn't lose like it did last year. It'll be measured as a success moving forward.
Yeah. Like I say, one thing about Arizona, they do fight though. Arizona do fight. They put up a decent fight. They just don't got enough talent in that program. Because I believe I did the game earlier this year between Arizona and UCLA, and Arizona put up a good fight in UCLA. They put up a good fight against UCLA. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson did not have a good game in that game. He struggled against Arizona. So basically UCLA running game beat Arizona basically, but they do fight. The team is just not even that. It just don't have enough talent.
Yeah, so I got Arizona State winning heavily 40-13 my score.
Yeah. I got them in a blowout as well. I got them in a massive blowout as well.
So we're getting close here. We're almost 40 minutes away from college kickoff time here. We're going all the way up to 12 o'clock kickoff time. Next game we're going to cover here will be the Texas A&M game versus LSU game. This game is at 7 o'clock Eastern time at Tiger Stadium, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If LSU wins this game, they come bowl eligible and give one more game to Ed Orgeron before he retires. He's actually said he was not going to coach anymore. He's going to go in retirement. So he's a Louisiana guy, product from the college and stuff like this. What would this mean for Ed Orgeron to win this game and take LSU to a bowl game in his last season at LSU?
I mean, it will mean a lot for this guy. It's just a massive drop off for the last 2 years since that national championship team, that unstoppable national championship team. I just don't know what happened to all the players. I just don't know what happened to this program. I guess all of those guys that left kind of hurt this team. Every guy that left in that national championship team had hurt. I mean, I think you supposed to had Jamar Chase back during the COVID year, but he didn't play. He never played. I don't believe he never played. Yeah, he opted out. He never played. Most of their defense opt out as well. They never kind of played. So, and the defenses became bad, very bad. And the cornerback you got over there, Stingley, he's going to be a first-round pick this year. He's going to be a good first-round pick. But their defense can't stop anybody. Their defense is bad. Like last year, throughout 3 games, they were giving up 40 points, almost 40 points per game. Their defense has taken a legit turn. This offense, this team is inconsistent. And again, I like to say it, I don't see this happening. I don't see them going bowling this year. It could be a tough game. They can make it close. I think A&M is going to come out with this game in a close fight. I got A&M winning by 26-20 in this game. It could be a shootout, but I don't think LSU just not good enough to beat A&M right now.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way here. Ed Orgeron's team hasn't scored enough points. They did put up 49 against Florida. The O has been on top of in the SEC play by a mile. Overall, it scored more than 28 against the Gators. Central Michigan and McNeese State, that is it. Texas A&M might not have enough high-power attack, but it might be able to put this away with a few early scores. However, Texas A&M should play LSU speed. But LSU, too, you got to give something about LSU. Their 2 top corners are out for the year. They had a lot of injuries that downplayed this year. They could have been a better team than what their record has showed. They have played in games and stuff. They almost beat Alabama. They did beat Florida without, there was the running game. The dude beat Leonard Fournette's record at LSU. In one game with the single running record there. The defense has been pretty good. It's been strong, but Texas A&M too. But they're going in. They're not playing at Kyle Field, where the man of the 12th man is. They're playing in Tiger Stadium, which is going to be
Baton Rouge. Yep.
It's going to be 80, somewhere probably about 90 to 100,000 people there. You know, Ed Orgeron's last game, the team is going to play for him because the team did not quit for him.
Yeah, they did not quit. They're going to play for him. Yeah.
So I think they have a lot of things, and I think LSU has a little bit more to play for than Texas A&M, and that could be a barometer set there. I think LSU could pull up this upset victory. But then also, again, Jimbo Fisher comes back to the team that he was offensive coordinator for under Nick Saban at LSU, and it was rumored that LSU wanted him, and he turned him down, I guess. So that could be another thing too. Say, hey, you could have came here, but whatever. So I think LSU could pull this out. I think it's going to win by a field goal.
Okay. It could be close. It's definitely going to be a close game, a close fight. But I would really like to see Orgeron go on a nice go out with a bang, man. I would really like to see him go out with a bang tonight.
So, who do you have, Middle Tennessee or Florida Atlantic?
Florida Atlantic. I'm gonna take Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, they've been doing pretty good at this year. I got them too. West Virginia at Kansas.
Oh my God! I'm gonna go West Virginia. I'm gonna take West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia at home, they're good. Kansas, they've been mediocre. They've been played tough teams, the last few weeks here and stuff like that. So, but they're playing in Lawrence, Kansas, and not really a tough place to play. Larry Brown for West Virginia is a good running back. They do double quarterback changes and stuff we could give. I'm gonna pull for West Virginia in this one.
Yeah, I got West Virginia.
Well, are we going to talk about the Bedlam, the Battle of Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State? Oklahoma State has a chance to beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma's in some turmoil. They had a good run with Williams at quarterback. They had a good run with Rattler at quarterback. Rattler's back at quarterback. Do we see both teams coming at 10-1? This game is on the ABCs at Pickle Stadium in Stillwater, Oklahoma, where Oklahoma's been tough. Oklahoma State's been tough at home. Can the Sooners fix the glitch, or is Lincoln Riley looking forward to going to LSU? That's the rumor.
Oh, I think I got Oklahoma State winning this game. I think their offense is very good. The quarterback situation has just been inconsistent at Oklahoma. They have not played well. Well throughout this whole season. Oklahoma almost lost to Tulane. They should have lost to my Texas Longhorns. They should have lost that game. Steve Sarkisian came out frustrated in the second half. Offense stalled the whole second half of this game, and they should have lost this game. They should have lost that game against Texas. They had a close game against Kansas, which is they should have won. They should have won by far. I think Oklahoma State is the better team today. Will be the better football team today. I got Oklahoma State. That quarterback is very, very good. The running back is very good. I like Oklahoma State winning this game. And you could see Lincoln Riley go to LSU after he's rumored. Again, I think he was a couple of NFL teams. Don't be surprised if they're looking for him to offer Lincoln Riley as well, because he's been linked to the NFL for a little while as well.
Yeah, that too, but you can't. It's kind of hard to pass up a freaking 10-year, $96 million deal that LSU put out for him.
Oh, okay.
NFL team's going to come up with some big numbers than that to try to persuade him. But I think Lincoln Riley is more like a college coach than he is NBA, NFL coach. You have some coaches like Dean Smith. Another one, NBA teams came out to Dean Smith. He didn't want to go. He always wanted to teach. Coach K had NBA teams come after him. He stayed at Duke, University in basketball. So you got some teams, you got some coaches that don't want to go to pro. They like staying in college. So I think Lincoln Riley is probably one of those guys. But who knows? He's an offensive minded guy. Clay Williams and company got the running game going against Iowa State. The team hit 200 yards rushing and more. So, I mean, they still got a quarterback issue in Rattler and Williams.
Yeah,
Who's going to
they got
start?
a very big quarterback issue.
So that means on that you don't know who's actually going to play, who's going to start. So that gives an advantage to Oklahoma if they don't. Oklahoma State has to compare from two different style quarterbacks. So for this ball game, so I could give Oklahoma an advantage, but Oklahoma State is favored in this ball game by 4 points. Some people say Oklahoma State is going to win 26-20. It could be closer than that. I think 28-26 could be a good one, or 48-40 game could be a good one too. So I mean, it could be a high scoring game also.
Oh yeah, I mean, Big 12 games is always high scored. They always high score. So I got Oklahoma State winning this game 34-31. Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I got about the same thing. I think it's gonna be a little bit of high scoring game up there. So, okay. So our next game here will be Pitt and Syracuse. This game is at 7:30 at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, New York, ACC network. Pitt doesn't really have anything to play for. They're 9-2. Syracuse 5-6. Pitt's already in the ACC championship game, waiting for either Wake Forest or North Carolina State. Could Pitt overlook Syracuse in this ball game?
No, nobody should overlook anybody. I think Pitt gonna get the win, but I don't think you should overlook anybody. The ACC, the conference games will always be tough to play. The conference games will always be tough to play. So again, Syracuse not gonna lay down. Pittsburgh gonna have to come in and gonna have to go in there, and they're gonna have to beat them. And they're already in the ACC championship. So just because they're in the ACC championship game, don't mean they can overlook this team. Don't mean they can come out and not show up. I think Pittsburgh's gonna win this game. I think they're gonna win it between 30-21. I got Pitt 30-21 in this game against Syracuse. I think Syracuse is gonna come in and fight. I don't think it's gonna be handed to them.
Yeah, I look at this. I look at two different things here. I think the quarterback Kenny Pickett's got something personally to play for himself as a thing for the Heisman. He's in that Heisman talk. I think if he has a really good game here today, he could be right up in that Heisman pick. He's right up on top of the NFL, ladder for quarterbacks in the league. ACC is a deep league of quarterbacks. I mean, you got O'Leary at North Carolina State. You got Sam Howell at North Carolina. You got Kenny Pickett at Pitt, and those are the set top 3, top 4 quarterbacks in the league. Derek King was up there until he got injured.
Yep, he was up there.
Next year, Van Dyke could be up there as one of the top way he's been playing for Miami. But also the Pitt's defense has been great too. On this, and I think Syracuse, without a good quarterback, do any pressure on the passing game to do anything well in this game. But they playing in the Carrier Dome, where Syracuse has had some good success over the years at their stadium. But Syracuse really doesn't have anything, because I don't think they become bowl eligible if they win. Yes, they do. They playing for bowl eligibility in this ball game.
Yeah. That's what makes it. That's what's gonna make the game a little more probably interesting and Pitt coming out and Syracuse coming out to play. I think they're gonna come out and play really hard, but I just don't think it will be good enough. I don't think it will be actually good enough.
What up, Greg? Hi to you.
What up, my boy? What up, Greg?
Yeah, I look at it this way too. If Syracuse can win, that gives ACC. If Florida State wins and they win, that gives ACC about 12 teams in bowl eligible. So they're competing right up there with the Big Ten and the SEC for bowl eligible teams. So, I think Pitt wins because I think they got a better running game and a better quarterback. So this game is Syracuse. Somebody got Syracuse winning 30-27. Pitt's favored by 13 points. I don't think that's going to come true. I think Pitt's going to handle their deal.
Yeah,
because they want to go. They want to get They want to get into the ACC playoffs, and hopefully they can win the ACC playoffs. Get a good bowl game.
Get in the good New Year's Six bowl game, or either good bowl game.
So the next game we're going to talk about here is this Clemson at South Carolina. Saturday, November 27th at 7:30. William Bryce Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. Can't stay in the stadium because it's downtown. There's no parking. You got to park in people's yard, and they try to cheapskate you. You want to park in my yard, you got to pay $40. But anyway, this game is on the SEC network. Clemson comes in 8-3. South Carolina comes in 6-5. Clemson has no shot playing in the ACC championship game now, due to the North Carolina State win over North Carolina last night. So what do we see here for Clemson? Because Clemson is, like I said, they're 8-3. They need to win this game to try to get a good bowl game.
Okay.
So this is really a down year for
Clemson. Yeah, this is a down year.
Under Sweeney's barometer.
This may be Dabo Sweeney kind of worst year, down year so far. 8-3. He's normally being going undefeated or making a national championship game. This is like a down year. Well, it started off like that against Georgia, the top defensive team in the country. Then you lose to I think you lost to NC State as well. They lost to NC State in a close game in overtime. Teams have been playing Clemson tough. I mean, South Carolina, that can happen today. The same thing. 6-5 South Carolina, very good defensive wise. They're gonna put up a fight. But I'm gonna take Clemson in this game. And the only thing I don't like about Clemson, I don't like the quarterback situation. I think the quarterback situation is kind of a little bit average, a little bit. The Clemson defense is pretty decent. They're pretty decent on the defensive side of the football. I'm going to take Clemson. I'm going to take Clemson out on the road against South Carolina. But South Carolina can win this game. They could definitely win this game. They could definitely come out to play. I'm going to take Clemson in a close football game, winning this game. I'm going to take Clemson 20. I'm going to take Clemson 24-21. Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson Ugalea, quarterback, he struggled most of the year. He started getting stuff together now. Last year he played that one game against Notre Dame, played excellent there.
Lights out.
Thought they were going to get a good, quarterback coming in after Trevor Lawrence, and he hasn't been up to that level of playing. Clemson's been down this year, but the Clemson defense has been keeping them in ball games. They're pretty special still. There, but South Carolina might not have a killer D, but it takes away the ball with 23 forced turnovers on the year, and the secondary is third in the SEC with fewest yards left, and it's the offensive side though that has come through. So if you're looking at this and you're looking at what they say about the SEC is supposed to be a football conference, blah blah blah. ACC is supposed to be weak, but if Clemson comes out and wins this ball game, against the SEC team, it makes a statement for the ACC too.
Yep.
Clemson's number one in the ACC in total defense, allowing only 318 yards per game. South Carolina's 5-1 this season, coming up with more than 318 yards. They beat Florida at Bryce Stadium. It's one of the Florida losses this year there. So I mean, they are capable to win, but I think Clemson is going to go in there because they want to go in and put people's mouths saying that they're the better South Carolina team.
Yep.
So I got Clemson winning this ball game myself. Let's talk about Kentucky and Louisville, another SEC ACC battle.
Let's do it.
Kentucky comes in at 8-3. Louisville comes in 6-5. This played at Cardinal Stadium in in Louisville, Kentucky. It used to be Papa John Stadium. They took that name away when the owner got, with his issues and stuff like that. So they downgraded the stadium and stuff like that. So, so when you look at this game, I mean, another SEC ACC battle.
I got Kentucky winning this game. I got Kentucky winning this game. They're great. They're a tough team. They beat LSU. I think they beat LSU this year. Was that LSU that they beat earlier? They beat someone when they were ranked. They were hot. They beat them when they were ranked. I think they were undefeated when Kentucky throttled them. They throttled them earlier.
Also,
but that's go ahead.
Also, Kentucky beat Florida too.
Yeah, that's who it was. That's who it was.
They beat Florida. They beat Florida at home.
Yeah,
for the first time since 1986.
That's who it was. It was Florida who they beat when Florida was ranked high. And Kentucky, that's a good football team. That program has really actually turned around. Love their defense. I love how their offense plays, but I love their defense. Their defense is very physical against Florida. They completely shut down Florida. They completely outplayed Florida. And I can see the same thing happening today with Kentucky against Louisville. Louisville, another team that fell off since Lamar Jackson left. They have not actually been a good football team. And again, I got Kentucky. I love Kentucky going into this game, man. I think their defense is pretty decent for us. What I've seen against Florida, their defense is physical. They're nasty on the defensive side of the ball. The coach built a great winning culture over there in Kentucky. I got Kentucky winning this game against Louisville.
Yeah, I got the same thing. I think Kentucky is gonna, because they're a better defensive team. But Cunningham comes in a little bit injured for Louisville. I think this could be a big game for Kentucky too. Put them back on the map a little bit here. Wildcats might have lost to Tennessee, but the O cranked up over 600 yards. It allowed with over 400 yards to Vanderbilt last week, 700 yards against New Mexico State. Granted, Louisville has a better defense, but University of Kentucky's Chris Rodriguez is one of the hottest backs in the country. The offense is converting third downs in bunches. So I think that's what it's going to give up for Louisville. I think they're going to give up a lot of third down plays to Kentucky. I think Kentucky is going to win 30-26. Louisville is 3.5 favorite in this ball game. So I got Louisville too in this game. Yeah. Who you have, Tulane or Memphis?
Memphis.
I think Green Wave's been playing good all season long too. I'm gonna take the Green Waves on the upset here.
Let's get right. Let's do it.
Notre Dame and Stanford.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame all day long because Stanford's been inconsistent all year, except for that Oregon game.
Except for that Oregon and USC game when they blew out USC when they went number 14.
Yeah. Nevada and Colorado State.
You take Nevada.
Yeah, Colorado State has lost 2 games in a row, so I'm going to go with Nevada on this one. Number 13, BYU at USC. This game is played in Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, California. This game is at 10:30 Eastern Time. It's on ESPN. BYU is 9-2. USC is 4-6. So BYU comes in with a pretty good, there's still an outside chance of BYU sliding up into a New Year Day 6 bowl territory on a roll with a schedule lighting up at the end. The Cougars have been rolling with a passing game that has gone off for well over 1,000 yards over the last 3 games and hit 300 yards in 5 of the last 6 games. And with a whole lot of key players, key parts working. So if this BYU team gets off on a run it and pass and attack, USC is going to have a hard time staying in this ball game.
Yeah, I don't like USC. The USC is not a good football team. They were number 14. They got shellacked at home against Stanford. That was a total beatdown. I did that game on the network. They beat Stanford just beat them down. They got beat down. They got beat down last week by UCLA in an embarrassing, humiliating performance. I like BYU. BYU is a very good football team. I think they beat Arizona State. I did Arizona State and BYU. Their offense is good. Their receiving core is very good as well. That quarterback is very good. The running back is very good. So I like that their BYU has a solid offensive game, solid offensive scheme, and I don't think the way USC played, I don't think they'll better stop that offense, that BYU offense. Also, that defense is pretty competitive. So again, it was an humiliating and embarrassing performance by by USC, and I don't see them stopping this assault by BYU. I think BYU is going to get into a New Year's Six bowl game. These guys are really good. They got playmakers on the offensive side of the football. They got a good running game, and when that quarterback is on, he is on. After he threw that interception against Arizona State, they dominated they dominated that game against Arizona State, against a very good Arizona State football team. And Herman was so I like BYU going in this game. I don't like USC. They're in turmoil right now, and I think BYU is just clearly a better program and a better football team.
Yeah, and if you look at it this way too, once again, USC will play hard and come up with a push offensively, but BYU is too balanced, too sharp. Don't think this really doesn't matter to BYU. A win, it means a 5-0 season versus the Pac-12. They could have won the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing about BYU. Let's see here. That's about the key there. I think BYU is going to destroy them. I don't think it's going to be close.
I don't think it's going to be a close ball game either. I think BYU going to put a spanking on them.
Yeah, they say BYU 34, USC 26. Some people got it close. BYU's a 7-point favorite and over and under 64 in this game. I mean, BYU did put up 66 points against Virginia. So it could be one of those type of games, with them actually blowing them out and stuff like that. So,
if that offense get going, it's going to be offense get going.
What BYU struggles the most is turning the ball over. I have BYU in this game by 20. Jalen Hall has 1 interception.
Yep, that he did that against Arizona State game. Turned the ball over once, and after that, they were just on cruise control. After that, Arizona State just couldn't stop them. After that.
Yeah, BYU, he said, Nate's a BYU fan. He says 39-19 is the final score for him in this ball game. So, we broke down all the cuts. We got one more. California and UCLA. Who you got in this ball game?
UCLA. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is very good, man. That guy is very good. Zach Charbonnet and Brown, is very good at the running back position. They have too many weapons on the opposite side of the ball. Phillips is pretty good as a receiver. They are very talented, man. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson is a very good dual threat quarterback. If he can just work on consistency, throwing in the pocket, and accuracy, he's going to be a good quarterback. I like UCLA in this game. I think it's going to be a rout.
Yeah, I mean, we look at it this way here. I've been looking at some of the scenes around the college football stadiums today, and I just noticed that it is snowing in Ann Arbor, Michigan, for today's game. So, how do you think the weather is going to play a big role in this ball game?
Oh, it could play a huge factor. That means it can play kind of in Michigan favor a little bit. I think it can mess with the freshman quarterback Stroud at some point. And it has a potential to be kind of a low-scoring game now that the weather conditions is up a little bit. I think this you're gonna see some forced turnovers, a couple of fumbles. You probably may see now that it's pretty cold down there. You can see a kind of low-scoring game that can impact a game a little bit.
Yeah, true. And so, this. I want to key emphasis. We got like 12 minutes, less than 12 minutes here before we kick off.
All right.
We get started. So I'll let you go in like few minutes here because I know you're getting ready to call this Ohio State Michigan game. So get you ready for that. So, but to me, with this Michigan State and all these rivalry games today, which rivalry game do you think is going to be the best out of all the games today to watch?
Yeah, I will say this one. I will say this game, but I want to go with Michigan State. Michigan State game. I want to go with that game a little bit. I think that game has a chance. That game is going to be very, very close. I think Michigan State and Penn State game is going to be very, very close. That's going to be very competitive. And that's a great running back over there at Michigan State, man. That dude is a demon. He's a monster. 5 touchdowns against Michigan in a 20-point comeback. That's insane. I will say this game as well because, like I say, now that you brought in the weather condition, this game could be also turned into an ugly game with a lot of forced turnovers. And cold weather does impact the game, does impact a game in some type of way. But I'm gonna go with Michigan State. I'm gonna go with Michigan State versus Penn State.
Yeah, and I just watched. They just showed a glimpse of the Gators and the Seminoles getting on the field together. They looked like they're about to fight. They had to put the coaches in between each other because Florida State ran onto the field while Florida was warming up over on the visiting sidelines to get close enough. And so, yeah, a little bit of separation and tension there. Will this Florida and Florida State game be good?
It has an opportunity to be ugly. I think, a lot of fights, but it also has a lot of opportunity to be an ugly game as well. I don't think this game will be very good. I don't think it will be too good. I think this game can be ugly between two bad programs, not so good programs.
And if you look at some of this stuff around the league here in conference play and stuff like that, I think that South Carolina and Clemson game could be good at one point. But like I said, if Clemson gets up big, it could be not really good. Louisville game could be excellent because both team plays good defense. So that could be a defensive battle there. But I think that Michigan State and Penn State could be a wide open game, could be the most high scoring game today.
Yeah.
But then again, you got Oregon out there who likes to run up the score too in their type offense and stuff like that. So that game could be actually good for the Civil War battle. So we're looking at a lot of potential big games and stuff like that. So do you have any closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts, man. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on. Thank Coach Spotlight, for inviting me to the StreamYard. The Ohio State and Michigan game should be interesting. And man, I'm always up to talk college football. I'm a big sports guy, NFL, NBA, college guy. And a final thought that even though Texas won against Kansas State, Steve Sarkisian should be fired from Texas. You got guys that are going to transfer, and he lost. I think he lost the locker room. He lost the locker room. He definitely did. You got guys that's transferring. You got guys that don't like playing for Steve Sarkisian, so he did lose the locker room. It's just a mess at Texas. It's just a mess at Texas, and he deserves to be fired. We haven't lost to Kansas in a decade. We lost by 3 halftime leads. The very next week, after we lost to Oklahoma, we lose a halftime lead to Oklahoma State when we had them down. We was up 21-7 in the game. We was up 21-7. The very next week, you lost a halftime lead. So his offenses has a chance to be getting stalled in the second half, and he should be fired. He is not too good of a coach. He'll be better as an assistant coach on a Nick Saban coaching staff. That's just no more. He shouldn't be a head coach. He needs to be fired after Texas. Texas need a new face. We never lost to Kansas as long as Matt Brown and Tom Herman was the damn coach. Now we picked the right time to lose to Kansas with this guy. This guy needs to be fired after this year. That is my final thought. And like I say, I think Michigan and Michigan State and Penn State, that's going to be probably the best rivalry game of the day.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But with that Oklahoma game, I watched the Oklahoma and Texas game. It seemed like the running back got it. He ran out of gas in near that fourth quarter. So I
Yep.
mean, he used them all the way through the first three quarters, and by the time the fourth quarter, he was gas.
Yeah, he
So
was
I mean,
gassed. But the offense got stalled too. The offense got
yeah,
stalled really, really bad. They didn't score till late in the fourth quarter, and that's when Xavier Worthing tied the game. And then Oklahoma running game starting to get out. They start to run the football. They start to get pressure on Case Thompson. You've been alternating quarterbacks all year long. No
yeah.
consistency at the quarterback situation. So it's just a mess, a dumpster fire in Texas, and Steve Sarkisian needs to pay for this disappointing performance of this Texas team.
Yeah. So that's Texas. I mean, you got a rich tradition there. You got the boosters, got money and stuff like that, and that's the only coach they could really come up with. I think they could come up with a better coach. If that coach position does come online, could we see like a John Gruden might jump on that train?
Yep, I can see it actually happening. I can see it actually happen. But again, Texas need a spark. They need a spark at the coach at the head coach position. I mean, I don't think Steve Sarkisian is right for the job. I mean, clearly you got players wanting to transfer and wanting out. You don't have the respect of the players, and the players have completely checked out on Steve Sarkisian, and he completely lost the locker room of those young players that wanted to transfer. So that is a bad example for this program.
Yeah, that's true too. I'll give you that. I'll give you all that. Because you know a little bit more than I do about Texas football. So I mean, Texas is big in high school football. I mean, first time I went down,
Yep.
I think San Antonio or someone went to a high school. I went to a
Yeah.
high school. I thought it was a college because the stadium was like big.
Yeah.
So we went down there. We wanted to go watch a high school football game. He said Texas football was big. I said okay. So we went to watch
Yep.
Texas football play out when we were out Camp Bullis. We went to one of the high schools there, and the stadium we pulled up, the stadium looked like a college stadium, sitting about 21,000 people. When we got there, they told us we had to get there early to get tickets because tickets run out. And if you want to sit, they have a lot of standing room only. But if you wanted to sit, you had to get there early. And we got there the game was at 7. We got there at 4:00. We're probably about the 5th one in line.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, about an hour before game, it was 21,000 people sitting. It was like 21,000 people sitting behind us. The stadium got filled up pretty good, So yeah, Texas football is pretty big out there and stuff like that. So I mean, Texas does keep a lot of homegrown people there. That's a good thing. Matt Brown used that same philosophy at North Carolina. Go to North Carolina, try to keep all the talent in state, then let the talent get out of state. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But still, if you look at the college football mecca, Texas is about to go to SEC country in 2023.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's going to follow them because, you got to keep that rivalry going, the railroad rivalry. That's going to bring a lot more money into SEC because you got the Longhorn channel. Along with the SEC channel, you got the Longhorn channel too. So,
it doesn't look like they're going to, the way everything is going, it doesn't look like they'll fare well in the SEC playing like this. It doesn't look like. I think Oklahoma will be more built for the SEC than Texas would.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got 2 minutes before kickoff here. And the stage is getting set here. The game day is going through their little thing here. It's snowing, rain. They're all sitting outside. Open air stadium. You got the Michigan band playing. So you just hope to hope people on the trombones not getting their lipstick, stuck on the thing on the instrument.
Yeah, this is gonna be really pretty. This should be really pretty. It's gonna be a competitive game, man. It's gonna definitely be a competitive game. So again, the winner of this game, the loser of this game is pretty much out.
Yeah.
Pretty
so,
much out.
what your guys' final prediction for the Ohio State Michigan game? I got Michigan on the upset.
I got Ohio State winning this game. See, the difference between these two teams right here, Ohio State is better offensively and they're competitive defensive wise. The problem of the John Harbaugh teams, you can't get the quarterback situation right. Even though it feels like he has it right this year, they talented on the defensive side of the ball. They got good cornerbacks. Again, this team is good, but Ohio State looks better on both sides of the ball. And I can literally see Ohio State coming away with this game in a close game. It's going to be a close game. The weather conditions going to be kind of tough to fight through, but I think Ohio State is going to win this game this year in a close game. It cannot be a blowout if you're Jim Harbaugh. This game cannot be a blowout. You guys are going to know by the first possession of this game whether it's going to be a blowout by Ohio State. You guys will know that for first possession of the game. Series of the game.
Well, you got this game at 12. We got Ohio State versus Michigan, and North Carolina State fans are looking at the Wake Forest and Boston College game for implication of the ACC Atlantic Division winner going into the ACC championship game. So we got a lot of good games coming on at 12 o'clock. A lot of things going to fit in places with the conference championship next week. So thank you, Coach, for joining me.
Yes, sir.
This is the All Sports, All Place Network College Breakdown. Everyone have a good day.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.